Call the meeting to order at 6:03. The first hour will be dedicated to budget work. Present for this are Carl Haynes, select board members Carl Haynes, Isaac Yackel, Robin Chestnut Tangerman, and town treasurer Jenny Tolfi-Munyak. So since I'm coming in late on the process, I'm happy to follow other people's leads on this and the areas that need work.
You have the most updated budget worksheet,
Yeah, you got that
Yes.
last email?
and thank you for the, when I said.
Yeah.
Hey, Terry.
Hey, Ron, welcome back.
Thank you.
Aren't you thrilled to be here?
Oh, I was holding my breath for this.
Well, I'm glad.
The last,
Hi, Jen, how are you?
where's that, you know, that. Okay. So the email that Patty just sent out about appropriation tracking
Mhm.
looks like is the only thing, I guess the yellow is what we're missing or not on the what hasn't been added, which is 86,000 from the.
So actually those, I think according to her letter, those were to be voted on.
To be voted on, because there's such a large increase.
Yeah,
Okay,
or large amount.
yeah, okay, gotcha.
We do have, I did go through the appropriations. And there are a number of organizations that we did not get requests from, I think. The Humane Society, the Open County.
Got one.
We got one, okay.
Yeah, and that's, there's some work that we need to decide on that. Patty was giving me some info on it tonight, this afternoon.
Rutland County Parent Child Center. I don't know if we got something from them or not.
Yeah, let's see. Well, I think that was, I don't think anything did. She sent out a
thing,
sheet
yeah.
with all the
Yeah.
appropriations on it.
So
We were only missing a couple, right?
parent, child.
Okay, fire department, we got, oh, well, that's a report, is there? I'm looking at the wrong column.
Yeah, so I don't see the Parent Child Center.
Yeah.
Or is that one of the ones that has a different name then? There's a couple that were renamed.
No, there is a child advocacy, child first advocacy.
Story, child first advocacy.
No, that's a different one. Child first advocacy is a different.
We don't need to decide right now, but the Humane Society, we need to put on the ballot. Last year, they requested 125. This year, they asked for 250. Actually, you don't need to do anything with it really, because we missed our deadline, which was 12/31. And she just got it today. But if we want, we need to put it on the ballot for approval. And also, somewhere there's a chart how they base it request on by the number of animals they take in. And according to the chart, 0 to, well, it's a sliding scale. Sliding scale ranges from $150 for towns with minimal intake, which they call 0 to 14 animals. to $2,000 for towns with higher service utilization. Middletown, according to their records, we had 11 animals, so we should be in the lower tier, $150, so,
Yeah,
which is still needs to go on the ballot, because last year they asked for 125, but the whole thing's just pretty squirrely.
yeah,
So. So if they request 250 though, they have to go on the ballot.
They have to go on the ballot, period, because last year was 125, and we said if they ask for more, it has to be voted on again.
Yeah.
But we can just say no, because we didn't get it until today, and it was due
Yeah.
10 days ago.
as a third option, can we do the 120, continue the 125?
I believe we could just say,
Here's
and that'd be a whole heck of a lot easier for all of us. I
is
mean,
by,
and according to their, according to their very own records, that's what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good, so there's 3 options.
but I get like I thought anything. Because they're late, we have options. If they've got it in on time, they had to go on the ballot at their requested.
I think we could put them on the way they are, 125.
Yeah.
And send them a note, letter, email, whatever.
Yeah.
That we kept it the same as last year and based on your records and then blah, 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 and if you wanna change it, you'll have to go on the ballot next year.
I would propose doing that, saying, you know, we actually, your request was actually late,
Yeah.
but we will put you.
We will
on
fund, let us
as
fund you,
level fund.
I think that's a good option.
125. So we're missing a Pulteney Meadowy watershed, is that right?
No,
No, I think we
did
got
get
that.
Same as last year?
500.
500. And then we were talking about, rural fire protection task force, we get that?
Yes, we did.
Oh, sorry, one. I was reading that column. Vermont Center for Independent Living. Is what I'm missing.
We. thought we talked,
There's an agenda, and there's a paper copy of that.
yeah, 100,
100.
yeah.
What's that? Parent-child center we can't find.
Right,
And
not yet. And then
So that's in here.
continuing on the, well, on the print avenues, that's a different page. Big heavy world. I don't think we got.
I don't have that one. Vermont Family Network or Habitat for Humanity
Right.
filled out.
And those we find tags list.
We've got Pulteney Rescue Squad, do you have that? 39,700,
So that would be down, that was voted on last time, right?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
so
go
that's
down-
way down here to.
That's on the
Who
ballot,
be voted.
yes.
Pulteney Rescue Squad,
Vermont Farmers Food Center,
last year was 39, what's this year?
39,700.
So same as last year.
Oh, so it doesn't have to be voted on.
Yes, anything over 5,000.
Even if it hasn't changed from the year.
Yeah.
Right, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Uh,
And the,
Vermont Farmers Food Center, BFFC, $500.
Right. Apparently, we both missed that.
It just came in. Yeah, I don't, well,
I found an email from Tracy,
oh, you did. Okay.
November 18th that I hadn't opened, or October 18th, or.
She must have sent it to my other email, but I haven't seen it. But yeah, no big deal. Jane, we already have that one. Okay. New request.
Okay.
And which ones don't we have?
What's that?
Which ones don't we have?
So what I don't have, and this is also down in the to be voted from last year, Chamber of Economy Development, FK Regional Market, 159031. I don't know what that is.
That's Cedar.
DEDRR.
Yeah.
Remember they were here a couple
Yeah.
years ago.
Maybe
Okay,
it was
so they actually came in and
Yeah.
did their thing. Okay, and they're asking for the same amount,
They're asking for the same and.
Yeah.
which was 745.
745, Patty reached back to them and they
To get
actually sent an actual.
Formal one. Okay, great.
We do have one new one that we will have to put on the ballot. It's Vermont Adult Learning. Which is a brand new one, so that'll have to be voted on. And that's
How can I?
$100.
Yeah. All into it.
Oops.
There it goes.
Yeah, there's a physical.
This is on numbers. No, so I'm not really familiar with numbers.
Yeah, whenever I open it up, it converts it or something to numbers, and then I have to save it as a Excel so that you guys can use it.
You know, one new, I can add it in, let me just send you.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, but you have all your numbers in there already.
I can send this to you.
Yeah. Yes, okay, let's do that.
So, yeah, I'll.
Send it to my MTS.
Okay.
The row and send it back. Is it only that one, Terry, that's new?
Yes. They're the only one we've got so far and, yeah, yeah. Ordinance, yes.
So on the spreadsheet. That category appropriations to be voted.
Mhm.
Do three of those, if I'm right, do three of those not need to be voted?
They were voted to the affirmative last year, so they just go on the budget this year.
Yeah.
And Patty mentioned that she was willing to help do that part of this spreadsheet to get it ready to give to Elizabeth. Because it's, yeah, I guess she knows how to do that.
She's got all the calculations and whatever, yeah.
So, okay, so lastly, the other thing that I don't have was the Vermont Rural Fire Protection Task in the to be voted from last year at $200.
But that's listed twice. Do you have it listed twice on the computer?
Okay, Vermont Rural Fire Protection, so I'm looking up here.
The 1-59009
Oh,
It's
no, I
listed.
do, yep,
is listed in two places,
yep, you're right, and that is already filled out.
so.
Okay, great.
So yeah, then what I'm missing is the Parent-Child Center and the Big Heavy World, Vermont Family Network, and Habitat for Humanity. Right.
It's interesting.
Can you get it?
Not bad, I'm trying. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Terry, do you want to do the letter to Humane Society?
Yeah, I could do that. No worries. Let me make a copy of the letter.
So what's the name of that one again?
The new,
Yeah, the new one, right?
One Rutland County Humane Society.
No, the new
The new one, and I'm not gonna assign it a number yet. You don't need to put the number in the town report anyway. But if it gets voted on, I will assign the number. How quickly things go out of our heads.
Terry, what's the new one, the new request or organization, it's a new request?
Oh, what, Vermont Adult Learning.
Oh, that's right.
Thank you.
And how much was it for?
$100. It serves one person in town. This year.
You get a new haircut, Terry?
I did.
All right, let's do it.
Just today.
Looks good.
I walked up and it was colder than I had expected, because I didn't wear gloves or a hat. Thanks for noticing.
Looking sharp.
Don actually stopped down by the creamery there, down by the bridge. Picked me up and dropped me off. I felt sorry for him.
Okay,
Just sent it.
Yeah, thank you.
okay, and so if we receive any requests from those 4 organizations, we can consider them, but otherwise we just discontinue those appropriations.
Is that often that organizations forget to send out? And
Not really. There oftentimes is maybe 1 or 2. We used to have, for example, Bolton Community League, Little League, and we used to try to track them down. We make phone calls.
right.
That got old, so we said we weren't doing that anymore. If they want our money, the least they can do is send a report and
Yeah.
a request.
Yeah.
And typically everybody does, but.
Yeah. Okay, so it seems like we're set for the appropriations in general government. It looks like highway. Salaries and, I mean, their figures printed lightly
In red.
Yeah, those were in
in
red.
red, okay.
Yep.
So, I, did some formulas and, calculated how much per each category based on, Carl estimated for those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories, how much he thought the highway would need, which was $130,000. But I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that those include, as do the regular categories, money that's gonna be spent on a couple special projects that Carl has in mind.
Okay,
So, that money needs to be. We can work around the payroll thing, if that is true, that 130,000 includes those special projects, but the other line items, we need to extract what we think is going to be used for those special projects and put them in special project categories, which all the way down to 140518, 140519 revenue.
yep,
So it's as if we're treating it like a grant, although I think, and correct me if I'm wrong on that the theory is that the money to cover those projects is going to come from surplus. And if that's the case, we need to be transparent about that.
mhm. I mean, the main thing there is it's not raised by taxes, it's existing funds. coming
Yeah,
out.
if that's what the select board ultimately decides, yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
I would probably move towards not pulling out. It seems like a lot of work to pull out like man hours and put them in that in that line item when like you were already getting that in the timesheets by like changed by coding them.
Yeah, and when
So-
when I account for it in the accounting, and we'll have, it'll pull it out.
Right, so I don't
Yeah,
think
so
we need
that's a
to
little
in the
tedious.
budget, but like as far as like actual bank run gravel and this and that, those are just numbers that we should. pull out.
Exactly.
I-
I think I read in the minutes from a couple of weeks ago that it was projected that one of the projects was gonna cost $35,000. So I could pull it.
And that was material
That's for
alone.
material.
Yeah, so that's what I think Isaac is saying, just the material.
If we just
alone.
have material as a line item, then yeah, those, just whatever receipts coming from that. Like those truckloads would go with that, but
We can keep
it's
it in the budget.
because like they're gonna be working anyway, what is it like? That those numbers can stay this, I feel like. Those hours are based on 2 people working 40 hours a week
Mhm.
for a
And
year
one part-time.
and 1 part-time, so what, why dissect that more?
Right, and I can track that. When they do the timesheets, there's gonna be a line item for
Yeah.
Karen Road project, and they can put how many hours. And I can take that and put it into
Right.
the
I think
financials.
we need to be able to articulate clearly and actually do that proactively so that people looking at the budget don't say, how come highway budget's going up $80,000?
Right, I think that was where this kind of started, because some of Carl's projected, like the numbers. Without it dissected out, it looks like all of a sudden we need twice as much of everything as last year, but if we
Right.
pull it into its own category and said, well, it's for this one project that we need. And we'll use surplus to cover it, it won't come out of the tax.
I had that same reaction.
Right.
Like, wait, process gravel, what?
Right, right,
So,
so it's just a bit more transparent. Is the grant that we got, the Better Works grant, like, is that a specific project that goes towards, or is that general?
As far as I know, it's part of the Daisy Hollow
Okay.
work.
Yeah.
It's continuing on because Herb did the grant
Mhm.
for Bill, and the piece of paper came and he took it, and
Yeah.
we got told that it got approved.
Right,
So I would assume that's
continuing that.
like what Bill did on the upper end of Daisy Hollow from Raymond's driveway out through to Jimmy Fly's there last year.
Yep.
So I do believe that would be part of the project coming down the hill, but not all of it.
So the Daisy Hollow project is addressing some of the hill. It's not about.
I think what that grant is for the water. The ditches, the stoning the ditches and all that.
Yeah,
And maybe top coating the road. That's what he did up above last year. So,
but isn't that all tied up in tree removal and?
and then our work, the John property,
Yeah,
Calvin property, those trees there will be all ours. So basically that will turn into 2 projects,
yeah.
the grant work and the other one.
Mhm.
I think we're way overthinking this. Trying to create the accounts now to track it. I think the budget should be put together for total expenditures and then you bring in what you anticipate of the highway surplus that you plan on using to come up with your dollars to be raised by taxes. Instead of doing it all now. But
Mhm. I like how I think it was mentioned the other time, or the last meeting, how next year, when there's new people doing it. And like, not everyone know, like, if there's new people, eventually we're gonna go like, why is that number that number?
Yeah.
Right? So having kind of a base, 5,000 is just the base, what we need every year. This extra 5,000 for this specific project. Next year, it might not be communicated or remembered, or not remembered, but like, eventually there might be a mistake or a miscommunication that we don't need 10,000 all the time. So pulling it into its own category in that sense kind of clears that.
as you can see in the 24, the June 30th of 24, where the processed material was budgeted for 29,
Yeah,
but 50,085 was spent.
right.
And that was also excess money that was used to do
Mhm.
Excess money from what used to do.
it, the highway.
The 55,000 of, yeah,
What
highway
is the
surplus.
actual 5885? What
Yeah.
was there a special project in 2024 that was non-grant related? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he put gravel down on, processed material down on roads
Mhm.
with that.
On all roads, not specific roads. Like not a specific project, like you said, we need to do something on Garin Road and we need to do something on Daisy Hollow. So we need to be consistent and transparent and have reporting that helps the taxpayers understand how their money is used. This is not a discussion, this has to be done. Surplus is not a slush fund. You read all the information that I sent to you, and we have to abide by GASB's accounting principles. I don't see why it's so hard right now to just not take out that money because you discussed it the other week, how much extra you're gonna use for each category. And the week before, or whatever it was, you said it would cost $35,000 to do one project. So how do you come up with those figures? Like, if you're just guesstimating, then that's not the right thing to do either. Based on your experience, and I would think we would be able to figure out how much would be needed. It's not set in stone, but it's a guideline for the taxpayers to know what projects we're working on and not using the money in the regular categories that's going to confuse them. Does that make sense, guys?
Well, I may have missed or I did miss the initial discussion on what that is, but it seemed to me, and maybe this isn't what you're talking about, but it seems to me if we have a pot of money, $135,000, whatever it is, for road repairs, materials and whatever. That could be our fixed line item. I'm not talking about grants here, I'm just talking about whatever, and then we could have a subcategory or, anticipated estimated expenses, say $35,000 in materials, we think will be Garin Road. 25,000 of that we think will be top coating and riprap and whatever finishing Daisy Hollow. And then-
Exactly.
And, $30,000 of that is just gonna be top coat that we're gonna put wherever needed. Is that what?
Exactly, that's exactly what I'm, just
I agree with
special
that.
projects that we don't do every year. Let's fund them or guesstimate how much they're gonna cost. If it doesn't come out exact, it doesn't.
Right.
But to,
Priorities.
like Robin said, to like look at bank run gravel to bump it up from 5,000 to 10,000, why? Process gravel 29 to 50. We know why, because Carl's estimating that's gonna cover those projects. Let's pull out that estimate that's gonna cover those projects and put it in those special line items. And it's not a suggestion, we have to do it that way.
Yeah, that seems like, we can do that, right? That seems reasonable. The accounting.
Don't know how much we're going to include it. That's what it comes down to, how we need to decide how much of the reserve fund, the excess money that we have, the 123,000 it is, I think, is the number that we've talked about, that we're going to utilize.
And that would be based on how much the projects are.
Right.
You can't just take
So
that
whatever-
money and use it as slush, you have to use it and specifically apply it to something. Once it's in a reserve account, you have to specifically apply it.
Yeah, right.
So
It's not like we had surplus before and it was just out there and you could use it for whatever, or you were supposed to use it for what you didn't spend it on. It's in a reserve account now and you have to,
be
specific.
specific.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
so it was in all that information I sent to you guys, if you were able to read any of it.
The first four categories there, the bank run gravel, processed riprap and road fabric. The difference between last year and this year, it's 33,500.
Okay.
And I have no idea whether it's accurate to essentially level fund those for standard operation and move that 33.5 down into special projects.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's even close, Carl, but I think that's what we're talking about, right?
Exactly. So if we're gonna estimate how much a project's gonna cost, you should have those figures somewhere, share it with us.
Mhm. Yeah.
Talking to the air, no response. So then what you guys could do then, since we don't have an estimate or it doesn't seem like we're gonna get a clear one. Level fund it and take that extra and put it in the Garren Road project. And then we have a number that could be covered by surplus.
Mhm.
Or estimate what you guys think a regular year is gonna look like without projects in terms of your needs. And then estimate what Garren Road's gonna cost. It's really cut and dry is what I think, and that otherwise it's being made more complicated than it has to be, in my opinion.
Mhm.
So that 33.5 that. And I've only looked at the first 4 categories. I don't know if other categories.
Those were the main.
They all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the first 5.
Yeah.
Not the culverts, I don't think, right?
Well, that's bumped up from 3,000 to 7, so, yeah.
Okay.
So,
But it was 8,000 last year, so, yeah, who knows?
mhm.
So I
So,
think we need a road guy to tell us what they think.
I guess the board's got to decide. Are we taking everything out of the budget to do any work on the road or not? I mean, we've been putting together a budget of what we're going to expend on the roads.
mhm.
And the only difference is we're using some of the money that has been spent in the past. So there, if it's 3,000 yards of material, and if they're hauling 3,000 tons, then it's 150 loads. Of if you're hauling 20 ton per load from Casellas.
Mhm.
So the big part of that is, are we gonna truck it ourselves? Or are we gonna hire? That's the other part of this, that we haven't decided. If we're going to add anything for hauling, rental for the project, all that stuff. We gotta decide it. And I mentioned that before.
well, we have, and right now it is added to hauling and rental, right? Those are both doubled.
But it's not. That would have to be in the project,
Right,
so.
so we pull it out of
So,
hauling
well-
and rental and throw it into special project Garren Road.
But graveling the road isn't
That-
a big project, it's a big expense to do. A portion of the road, but that is general maintenance. So making everything a project, Daisy Hollow could become 2 projects. Are we breaking that out in this budget too? We got the 12,000 that we're anticipating for grant and the 12,000 we're expending in this budget proposal. But the rest of the work,
I mean, I think what we're breaking out is work that is not in the course of routine maintenance. And we don't top coat every year, but top coating should be routine maintenance, so it's the the focused effort of whatever it is, ditching, rip wrapping, building up a bed, laying down fabric.
Yeah.
And then top coating, that's that project, I think. But top coating as needed to cover fabric is, I don't think that's not a project, that's just routine maintenance.
Well, that's unanticipated projects, like these are anticipated projects that we plan on doing next year. right? Like, and that's why we're budgeting for
Yeah.
them now rather than having just like, we know we need 5,000 of bank run gravel because something's gonna need it
Well,
somewhere.
the whole idea, we don't need processed material if we're going to bring the end of Garen Road up to the South Street.
Mhm.
That can be done with gravel
Mhm.
instead of processed material,
Mhm.
Yeah,
you know, but.
Yeah.
Is that part of that project?
but I mean, that's for us to decide, for you to decide as the commission, like as coming up with this project. What does it entail? Where does it stop? And how much do we need to spend on it?
Yeah.
Like that's. Seems reasonable that we're anticipating needing to do this project next year. So how much is it gonna cost so we can get a good. So we can tell people, this is how much we expect it to cost. And it includes the gravel and this and that and everything else. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
The last discussion we had last meeting, the last budget meeting was, is payroll coming out of the project too?
Yeah,
Well,
We just talked about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, and I don't think it needs to be.
You know,
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, and
It will in the end.
Right.
we're
But as far as-
paying the guy or guys anyway, and
Right.
typically our payroll, we can get more work done. Extend the project, so to speak.
Mhm.
Get more done because we're paying them anyway.
And the good thing is we track their time and we'll book it how it happens. We have that to look at for the next project. How many hours does it take to do this or that? You know, it's a good
Yeah,
record
good.
keeping.
Track it to keep track
So,
of it.
like, I would think for Garen Road, we're talking about building up the end, right?
yeah,
So I would, whatever, how many tons or yards
yards for
Um,
gravel.
will it take? I think we build into the budget having someone haul it
Mhm.
and put that in there
Mhm.
into the project budget so that our guys can be working on site. And and then that's the project is materials and hired labor.
Hauling and rent, and you think it's also rental? We'll need to rent. Something for that project?
If you put the plant mix down properly, you should put it down with a dozer. It should be pushed onto the material and not driven on it. Coy Hill, he used the grader, but pushing it on with the grader, the paper hole shifts, the fabric moves actually underneath the road, right?
Okay. So why don't we pull out? The first 4 and rental and hauling. And like call that the special project, right? Leave payroll out. We don't need to incorporate that and start messing with all that, doesn't seem to be important. But the materials that it costs and the hauling and rental.
So 150 loads at $130 an hour is 19.5 if you're gonna hire it all hauled,
Mhm.
just for that
Okay.
150 loads. So
And then that doesn't leave
anything for
any hauling for haulings.
winter sand,
Sand.
no. We need, long and short, we need to start doing our own work and not hiring everything.
Mhm.
And that's where it's gonna come down.
So if that's the case, if we're gonna be hauling ourselves. Or in part, like some of it's hired out, some of it's our own. The hours that it takes to haul, that's up in payroll, that's already accounted for. So we don't need to account for that in this project. We would only account for what we anticipate we would have to haul. If we're doing like a split.
And that's where if we're hauling, it's more cost effective to use the tandem.
Yeah.
And, so if we were hauling half of that,
Mhm.
it would be 10,000 of hired trucks.
Yeah.
And 10,000 covered by the town hauling it.
Yep.
But we have to adjust your fuel.
Mhm.
Because we'll be using more fuel than what has been used in the past.
Yeah.
To offset it some.
Okay,
you know, so.
So how much fuel do you think it would cost if we were doing half of that? Hauling?
Well, I mean, and fuel's always an estimate, a guess
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
because you don't know
Right.
prices ahead of time.
So last year we had 32,000 in the budget. We don't have anything in this year because we didn't know if we were gonna be doing this.
Yeah, right, that's what,
But we can leave that line. This project won't be part of that line item, basically, that whatever we think it's gonna cost, that's gonna go up in the Garen Road special project. We just need to add it to that line,
Exactly.
right? So if 32 was enough to cover normal operations last year, it should be enough. Well, we need to bump it up a little bit, obviously, it's probably gonna go up, but. With this project not in, like, without this project, basically, if we're hauling anything, how much. Gas and diesel would a normal operating year this year be? I guess, that makes sense?
With all,
Do I get a little
that- with all the Venezuelan oil we're going to be swinging in.
Oh, we're gonna do this, right, yeah. Negative, they're gonna pay us to use it.
That's the pharmacists, that's the pharmacy stuff, that's not.
So if we take the increases in those four product categories, the gravel, riprap, road feather, and the increases in hauling and rental, that's a total of 48.5. And if we dedicate 48.5 to the special projects,
Mhm.
whether it, I mean, there's no way to fine tune right now what's.
fuel's gonna be
Yeah,
labor situation,
yeah,
But
you know.
48.5 on those projects, and I don't know what the split is it, 35 on one and 13 on
45
another?
between the two, you mean? You're
Yeah.
saying, okay, gotcha. Is that,
Basically, what you're saying is you have a number that you're anticipating using of the 123,000.
Right,
that we can put our reserve against, basically?
Yeah. But
So how about I was like 35, because that's the Carl projected for the Garen Road, and 13.5 for Daisy Hollow.
13,
And
5,
that adds up to Robin's 48.5,
and 35.
35 for Garen Road and 13.5 for Daisy Hollow.
And then if I were to drop the gravel process, the banker gravel process, grid wrap and road fabric back down, we're still at the same number.
So you
Right.
brought drop on him.
yeah. That's my thinking.
It looks cleaner. 115, yeah.
And then we can at least explain to the taxpayers, this is how much we think it's gonna be, this is how much we're gonna use from the reserve fund to cover it.
So that would.
And if in the end, at the end of the year, if this highway is way over budget. The select board can vote to use more of the reserve fund to cover that.
And so we will be, these two projects, 48.5 is funded from the reserve, the surplus.
Mhm.
There was, yeah.
So I can put that in right now in this line item, right? There's highway surplus.
Yeah.
Right there, and I have to put it in red. How do I do that?
It's
Negative,
just negative.
so negative
Negative 485.
485. Is that what you were anticipating about 485? Carl?
I had no numbers
Okay.
for Daisy Hollow because don't know what work's gonna be done before the 1st of July and after. So
Yeah.
it comes back to affect this budget.
But it's in the ballpark.
And then did you lower the other ones?
I have 5,000, 29,000, 6,000, and 1,500. Those for more. Culverts is still at 7. I don't know if there are specific culverts were specifically for those two projects or not.
Our, you know,
I mean, that's-
in the 25, we spent 6,900 and we got a load of culverts. And there's one left up there of that,
Yeah.
basically $7,000 that we bought back then,
Mhm.
worth of culverts. So they've been used up all except for one,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
that's where
but just for I
I
mean,
used the 7,000
yeah,
because we need to replenish them to have an inventory.
I guess, are there anticipated? Like, is there a specific culvert that we're replacing in this project though, Garen? Or is it just
Not that I know of now, but all the culverts haven't been found yet.
Right. Perfect, all right. So there's that.
And when you find that over, that's the special project.
Ooh,
Special project.
extras.
So street signs staying 500.
Um. Which one?
The street sign staying at 5.
Yeah, we had some of those in stock, I don't.
Miscellaneous staying at 1,000. The mowing, we left at 4,000.
That lost where we started.
Well, after the first categories.
Okay. Okay, gotcha, way up here. Gotcha.
Yeah,
So
so-
500, 1,000, 4,000, and 1,000 for the bridge repairs and debt. At 1,000, what was that again?
That's a reserve fund.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
either-
Oh, right, that's what the R is. Right.
Resurfacing is patch and cold patch.
Mhm.
500. And then the winter sand. I dropped that from 30 to 25.
Mhm.
Do you want to put it back to 30?
How are we looking this year?
Well, we still have about 2/3 of the pile left when I
Yeah.
pasted off the other day.
Yeah. So,
Ira has almost depleted all their material.
Yeah.
So Chuck said that we still, because Jim had called me and said that he had some sand up here if we want to mix it in with
Mhm.
the stone material that we have. So I checked with Chuck and we still have some at Casellas that we didn't
I
get.
was just gonna ask that.
So there's still maybe 4 loads over there. That was tractor trailer loads. So there, we still have 100 ton or so there. So it looks like we're in good shape for sand. We're still chewing through the salt, but
Mhm.
the idea was getting some regular sand to mix with it to get some color in it to help us make it more noticeable.
Yeah.
Buy a couple cans of spray paint.
Yeah. Some neon orange.
So I dropped it to 25. Do you want to take it back to 30? Chuck has talked to Puntley, he's talked to Costello. Puntley's using straight 3/8 stone now instead of their sand mix. Has too many fines in what we have. It's building up on the spinner because it's still got the fines in it, so Puntley has gone to straight stone, a 3/8 stone. But all that material doesn't adhere to the frozen road, so.
Let's try the 25.
Yeah,
Is it okay?
absolutely.
Oh, sure.
And then salt I left at 20. We've gone from 100 ton of salt in the sand down to 85 to 65 this year. And that's at $98 a ton. So if we have a shed, Chuck's hope is to not put salt in our material anymore. So that would be another 6,500 savings in this equation between the two if we went that far. Um,
Mhm.
the calcium. We spent, last load, we spent 3,900, so I raised that to 4,000. To cover that, and it probably's gone up more than that again, but
we're at 4,800 for this year, so.
Yeah, was that a miss? Is it 3,800?
no,
48.
the previous year
Yeah, we
Is that-
spent 4,800.
is 30. And oh, the number I have in front of me is 3949.
That might have been
This is
Jane,
updated
that might have
for
been the
December.
yeah.
So,
So the newest number is 4,800.
so I don't know, other,
So we increased it to
because we get a tank full delivered
right.
from,
Yeah, and last summer it was kind of an anomaly with, we didn't get rain from. What, 1st of June till.
so I do believe we still have.
Something we usually.
Okay.
Hope it's.
What we had.
It had gotten so we didn't have to buy it for the year.
Yeah.
So that's why you have the up and
Up,
down,
down. Gotcha. Yep.
because they deliver, I think, 3,000 gallons when they deliver, so. Guardrail stayed the same. And tree trimming was one that I had doubled. Chuck had asked me about that, so I had taken that to 7,000.
Does that means hiring people to tree trim? Okay.
He said,
Yeah.
there's just so many dead stuff.
Yeah.
That we can't cut because of the power lines, but because it's not in there right away, you're not gonna get the power company to cut them.
Right.
And the other option is, when they fall down, it's our problem and the power company, because it takes them down, but. That still doesn't get us a lot, but. Gets us farther than we had. And this is where. Our grant and aid. That number. Fits in these projects. That we discussed that we need to budget 15 for expenditures. To cover the $12,000 grant for the 80/20. So we changed that to 15. Everything else was zeroed out down to public notices. We left that at 5. The paving reserve
Oh yeah, that was one. So I have it in here at 40 still, because
was. So we had a discussion on how much we have in the fund. After this year, I do believe the number was 217,000 in that paving reserve fund. So if we want to look at some place of. Cutting back into that reserve fund. That's a number I hadn't put in. The tandem payment, we still got a couple more years of that, 32,000. Permits in that, we left at 2,000. The reserve fund of 20, we left at 20. Shop supplies, we budget 2,000, but we know we're gonna be way over that this year.
So what did we do with paving? Did we decide did we?
We didn't decide.
so
Leave it at 40?
if we look at with the 48.5 of surplus offsetting our 2 special projects, right now we have
The 48,
48.5.
48.
Yeah, we have a total budget right now of 224,500, up from last year's 216,000. So it's not, I don't know how to do this.
So well, I have a couple little, I can tell you the percent before we do that. I have a couple little changes that will save a couple $1,000.
Okay.
Because I did the exact calculations,
Okay.
payroll holiday. And if you guys felt like looking at it, I put a page for 26, 27 wages on highway, and that's where I got the calculations from. But that 4,800 can go down to $4,000 for holiday.
48 can go to 4,000?
Yeah, so we have a set number of holidays and I multiply it by the salaries.
Okay.
And then if we jump down to, sick pay, that's a little bit higher, that should be 2,000.
From one
Because they
seven.
get 40 hours a week as, because of, 40 hours a year,
Mhm.
not 3 days because of Vermont. So 2,000, and then vacation can go down to 2,350.
From 4.
From 4,000.
Okay. Okay.
And then this is up to you guys, the personal day thing, they don't officially get personal days, but they get 3 bereavement days. They don't always use it, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. If each of them use their 3 bereavement days, it would be 1175. But it doesn't look like they've been used that much in the past, so you
Yeah.
can keep it at 560, you can bump it up to 1175, or you can, what?
Okay.
That's your decision.
Let's say keep it at 560.
Yeah.
Do that too. So that saved a couple thousand, maybe close to that.
And I know we're having too much fun here. but-
Yes, it is.
And then this,
What's
did
the
you
total?
have
So
fire
you're saying-
rates?
So we start at 603.
So I'm right here at 2245
Mhm.
from 217.
Perfect.
Okay, so we will,
In that 48.5.
Yeah,
3.9%.
you put that percent.
You took 10 of the hauling out into that
Yes,
and 5 of the rental.
yes. So both of those are flat. 10 and 5 in both those categories.
okay, well, that felt good. We'll transition from the budget meeting to the regular schedule for the meeting. Starting at 7 p.m. We are board members, Isaac Yappo, Rupp, Carl Haynes, Larry Redfield, Chestnut Tangerman, Town Treasurer Jenny Okamanya.
Robert McMahon from the
Yeah.
public and Claire Eaton behind us.
From the Conservation Commission.
Yes.
Yes.
Got you right.
Special chair. More nervous.
And we have a few things to do before we get to you. So are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Couple of things, well, we haven't been all the way through it there. Just a couple of things, I think we want to try to finalize a couple of things with the town report we talked about. Well, probably when you were away, Robin, about the photo on the front. Anyway, discuss a couple issues with the town report. Also officially, when we get to it, we can do that down on other business or something, or town report. That Rutland County Humane Society thing. And I would like to distribute a document, a proposed resolution, not to act on right now, but we can think about it for a couple of hours or and see if we want to do anything with it later on. Or not. Did it. Can't get fingers for it.
Well, there's a vigil up in Rutland tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
We
need
realize
that
it's done.
more than ridiculous, but anyway. Something to think about.
Thank you. So approval of minutes. We can handle them together or separately at the December 23rd regular meeting. Y'all had a chance to read the minutes. Any corrections, changes? If not,
Um,
Yes.
can I say something?
Yes.
Just because I'm cited in there, and thank you, Terry, for updating it, but, the update was, I was talking about, I had asked Terry to add in a conversation that we had, where we were thinking about replacing Marcel oil with, Champlain.
Right,
And what I was talking about was that if that was gonna happen, it has to be, go through the motions of being bid out again. No, I didn't have anything to do with the 24.4 cents per gallon charge.
no, but you've done some research on it.
No, I've been involved in it
Somebody-
all the while,
Okay.
so
Right.
I just wanted to clarify that.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
okay, so, with one correction. We have a motion to approve.
I would move to approve them with that one correction.
I'll second.
Motion approved and, I mean, motion made and seconded. Well, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I will abstain since I wasn't present. And the December 30th budget meeting.
I'll move to approve those minutes.
Well, I will second that as well.
Approved and seconded. I mean, motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
I will abstain on that as well. Public comment. This is you.
Okay, yeah, it was in red on the agenda, I got nervous. Special guests are. Picking up my mail today at the post office in Middletown. Well, yes, so I am pleased and enjoy being on the Conservation Commission, and I think what I'm bringing forward to ask you all today is much less complicated than everything you've all really been having to discuss for the budget. As you all probably know, we have worked to reinstate what used to be a tradition of monthly community walks in Sullivan Woods. And we started in August and have managed to, with anywhere from 3 to 40 people attending, have one each month. And also, as I'm sure you all know, we did a lovely commemoration and dedication of the trail to Kathy Doyle at our November walk. And that's where there were 40 some people in attendance. The month before, we did a Halloween walk in cooperation with the library. And that was also very enjoyable and very successful. But in the course of doing this, and particularly at the November walk, where there were folks of all ages and more of us older, like me, attending, it's apparent that stepping up into Sullivan Woods from Fitzgerald Road is tricky and certainly puts people at risk for a significant fall with the stone steps that go up from the ditch, and then certainly liability if there is a fall. I hear Kimberly in the background, but speaking of her, she has this wonderful grant through the AARP called Winter Sparks, which is to encourage community involvement of folks over 50. So also is able to actually provide up to $300 to contribute towards the tasks that I've come to ask you all about. How do we go about doing it? Do we need permission from the road commissioner to do this? To put a railing that simply goes from where you park alongside on Fitzgerald Road to climb up into Sullivan Woods. And so my question from the Conservation Commission is, how do we do that? Who does that? Is it okay to do that? Funding can partly come from the AARP grant, because she said about $300 could be dedicated towards that. And then I believe our Conservation Commission fund has,
We have about, just look that up. 1150 in the reserve right now, and then for what's in the budget right now is 200
okay,
plus another 100 that you just got for a
Audubon,
donation.
from the Audubon of Rutland.
I don't know, I think it was just a regular guy.
Okay. I know that Audubon of Rutland had, but that's.
Yeah, so you've got three right now, unless you've got almost $1,500 to
Yeah.
spend.
Yeah. So I'm not sure, just briefly, you all telling us what's the right thing to do. It is a town forest. We're not gonna do anything like that without anyone's permission. And then do we have to get bids for it, or do you know who could do that, or does it matter?
Here we go.
Is this town purchasing agent business?
Um,
I wouldn't think so. This is the,
I think it would be I think it's the Conservation Commission can do it, but,
It's our job to be quote stewards,
Right.
some of it.
but I think though, and this is probably similar to whatever that last project was, the tree trimming that Robin and I were both weighing in on, is that you have to get bids. I forget how you responded to that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Well, you kindly, I'm assuming you all did pay the gentleman who cut the tree.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I may not be, I've done the wrong thing. Without my
Oh,
having to
yeah, I
pay.
think we did, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they.
I haven't heard
about
bids for that or not, but I think if
No,
it's
I
a,
didn't.
yeah, I didn't think so.
I just knew
Right,
if
if
someone
it's-
is good.
Seems like if it's a, I mean, we know we have to if it's over, I think it's $5,000, right? I
Oh.
think a small enough. A small enough project, if it's someone that's established with us, we can just do it. If it's somebody new, we'd have to get, the proper information, certificate of insurance and all that.
In the case of the tree, by the way, he gave the estimate of 250 and then charged us 200. How many people actually charge you less than their estimate?
I
Nobody.
think you should hire the same person.
To do
He knows railings.
But I think the town, Chuck or Carl, we just have to see where to place a post for the handrail or whatever, so it's, not gonna be clipped with a snow plow, and we don't wanna probably put it in the low.
Cause there's,
a ditch. Or
if I remember right, there's 3 flat rocks. Probably 18 inches, 2 foot wide is the steps up there, and they're out of the side of the road. They're off the side of the road there. They're back a little bit, the first step is.
So you climb down into the ditch and then up the steps.
Yeah, and the problem, it isn't really far down into the ditch. It is the climbing up to the steps and the fact they get slippery, whether it be with the wet leaves or.
Yeah.
And so if the lowest post of the railing was no lower than the bottom stone, would that be okay in terms of the road?
I'll go out and look at it. And
Okay.
see. I was just. When they get done, there was a rails sitting against the building down to the library church down there that came out down there.
Okay.
A metal rail
Maybe.
the other day when I was down there snooping around, so maybe there can be repurposed.
Yeah,
Well, put it out of the dumpster.
and how deep do you have to put a railing like that? And I don't know any of this stuff.
Well,
Whether you put cement in the ground and.
All depends upon your slope, if it's gonna, if it would work or not, or just have to build something.
So we can do,
And then who would-
two, let's see. Designated purchasing agents may make purchases of up to $2,000 without prior approval.
But we're not a designated purchasing
But
agent.
the select board is.
Okay, cool.
Terry, is it
And I wanna,
natural stone steps?
Yeah, they're just like.
look at those numbers more clearly tomorrow,
Yes.
because I know that we paid that.
I've got granite
Tree
stones.
numbers, but I don't see any
Always
less than what I just said, so,
Okay. But you
I'll
did.
look that up and I'll be back with it, yeah. Yes, I did an average.
So I would say, yeah. Find a recommendation, talk to that person. If you think it's gonna be more than $2,000, then. So say, I mean, right, the proposal.
Okay,
Well, either way, but I think proposal.
I can ask him what it would be.
Yeah.
Can anyone suggest anyone who can do this?
Why don't I go look at it first and see
Yeah.
the length you're gonna need to get from your bottom step up there? And then get some idea of the height you're raising it. To try to get a feel for your rail.
That's great, and ideally, and there's a pillar, it would be nice if we could have it done before the end of our grant time, right, which is goes until April. Yeah, you know, in terms of it being available for the walks that we're gonna do with each other. Yes, thank you. If you could reach out to me or anything, thank you. And that's all,
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
very much.
So I almost take it tomorrow, so
Okay.
all right, yeah. As long as they're open computers.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure, yeah, no, we can tell it, but I'd say, I think I've got, for 10 minutes.
This brings us to town officer reports. I don't see a town clerk present.
Now. She had said something the other day. Patty, about the. Tax exemptions for. Last week.
Fire department is.
And she was looking into, I don't know, does anybody have any more information on that?
I believe that was good until she looked it up, and I believe there weren't any until 27 or 28.
27 and 28.
27 or 28.
So she found one for the fire department?
Yes.
Because when I was in here Tuesday, I think it was 2017 was the last note that she had found at that time.
She said that was. Yeah, last time it was voted on, wasn't voted on in 22.
She sent email with a copy. We had to have a special election for something, and we put that on the special election because it had been overlooked.
That's probably why it wasn't in the town report stuff, but she looked at
And I forget the year.
it. So it would have been possibly 22 when it should have been renewed.
So that it indicates, Sally was saying that her records indicate that it was last voted in 2022 for a period of 5 years. So it should be valid until 2027.
27, yeah.
But then Patty said, attached is the ballot for 2022, and there is no volunteer fire department article on the ballot. The last time she found a vote was in 2017.
But didn't she send a copy of the special election that,
Oh, did it keep going? Maybe,
no, I think so, unless I'm
did she keep going? Today,
somewhere there's an email with a copy of the ballot.
okay. It's not in that thread, if it was. We should have found it.
Just if we need to do it now,
Yeah, we wanna do it, well, we do have plenty of chances this year anyway, but, I mean, there will be a primary and a general, but we wanna try to get it. We certainly don't wanna hold a special election. One item.
Thank you, Carl, for remembering that. Anything else from?
Unless Robert's here from the public, unless you wanna wait until highway.
Yeah, I'll wait till highway.
Okay. Treasurer,
Okay.
you've had your say?
Not enough for me.
Library.
Library, that's us.
Library, hello.
We're the library. We're here. So we have a couple of things to talk about. I'm feeling some trees, so I'll send you around with some little packets. Oh, that's smarter. Pass it around.
Thank you.
Second grade stuff. Take one at the back. That's fine. I thought there was another one I counted on. There you go. There you go. Alrighty, so they're in no particular order. In this package is a couple of things. There is a budget as is sort of a project budget. That's the spreadsheet looking thing. Now I handed out all my copies, you can really have one. And then there is a change order for the project that needs to be signed tonight, so we can talk through that. And then there's just information about how to sell town property that is the LCT that I talked a little bit about last time, which is a copy for everybody. Because we do want to talk a little bit about that. So we can start with the change order. I guess that seems like the easiest thing. It's a small change order, including some savings in the window removal and the addition of some underlayment under the carpet on the second floor that needed to be done in order to not, what is it called, invalidate the warranty for that carpet, so they required that to be done. And then there's a little more insurance, and then there's the fee that Naylor would be bringing the charges, so then there's the total of the change order 330913. And then they go into how that affects overall bottom line. So that's that.
So it's a very small change order.
It's a small one.
And it included a minus for the
Right.
first time, it's really
You gotta
exciting.
put it.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that's
planning on getting more.
exciting.
That.
So why did the total maximum price increase by 8,000 or 30,000?
Because the last.
I think because of the last,
The last. Okay.
yeah, the last one
was 30,000.
That was the 30, yeah.
Yeah, that's the 30 there. Their accounting is sort of like a running accounting, which can be confusing. So that's, any questions about the change order? So, I guess. That would be Robin, I guess you sign on the owner section on one of these copies, it doesn't matter. I mean, you have a black and white one, I kind of have a colored one, so here, let me sign on it.
Okay.
And then the house downtown property is like just for information kind of thing, but. As I talked about last time, we want to be looking at selling that property. So we've talked with a real estate agent who was referred by the town of Fairhaven, who works for Vermont, New York. I think Vermont in New York or whatever, VTNY real estate company. So we talked some with her about that. And we have looked at the deed and I didn't get a chance to get a copy of the deed, but I'll get that for you guys for next time. And I don't think there's anything in the deed that precludes it being sold. There is some information in some letters that we have around the building being purchased by the town for $1 for the use as a library. So I think probably the best thing to do would be for whoever, I guess maybe Robin, to ask Gary to send him the deed and the letters and stuff that we have, and just make sure that he doesn't see a problem with the town putting that up for sale, or if there's something that needs to be done motion wise to, because it's not being used as a library anymore, like if there's anything that needs to be done there in preparation to put it on the market. I think, but I'm hoping we can talk more seriously about that next time with having gotten all that information together. Because the other question is, of course, it is a town property, it was maintained by the library board for the life basically the life of the building as far as we know, but taxpayer money certainly went towards that. And so the question then is, what to do with the proceeds? So that, I would like to have a conversation about that next time as well as part of the thing. But again, I'll get you some more of that documentation and hopefully we can get some information from Gary between now and then. Essentially. Oh, yes. So, yeah, any comments or questions on that? We don't have to have a full discussion right now. It just was more of a teeing up something that hopefully we can talk more about next time. And then the last thing there is the project budget, which I think is the final version that you'll see going into the town report. Which Kimberly can talk you through, or if you have any questions, it just talks about the money we have, the money we spent, and the project overall as far as getting into the building and being able to function in the way that we want to be able to function, and what our gap is and what our goal is for the campaign, which we're calling the Bridge to Tomorrow campaign, which is our fundraising effort that will be kicking off soon.
You can see on there the town's library reserve of 60,000, so that's the piece that the taxpayers voted 3 years in a row. And so it is funneling in there. All of the rest of the money has come from grants and donors. And which is to me amazing. The budget includes things that are sitting in our coffers, but it's also things like the grant, which we don't see that money until we spend it and get reimbursed. The over to the right, you can see what the actual spending that has been done. Most of it coming from the grants. Those numbers are going to shift slightly because I'm in the I was making assumptions of what the MRF grant was covering, and Murph and I are discussing how we should better just code what gets covered and what doesn't. But the things that Murph will pick up a certain number of things, and the CPF picks up the rest. So it's not a, I'm not concerned about that. I just want to don't cement this because those numbers are changeable. But the bottom line of what we've spent is accurate. And I'm happy to field questions.
I'm curious, the non-grant spending, 28,000 in
Yeah.
non-grant spending, what sorts of things?
A lot of it was early lawyer bills to talk about how to buy the Catholic Church. It has been when we did our little mailing to the town, or the, you know, like it's anything that the grant won't cover, but it's been pretty, there's a stipend going to the library director because she's working twice what she's getting paid for, so that's in there. So it's those kind of things that are, they're, same with when you look in the expenses, you've got the indirect down below, and those are sort of all those things that aren't physically the building and aren't physically, the change of the building to the building, or the equipment and furnishings that are going into it. Everything else that needs to happen to make that building function, shows up there. So it's,
And that was also indirect costs that were paid out of, the indirect cost part of that were bills that were paid out of the reserve funds.
Right.
Yeah.
So, so those are in
about
there.
14 or 15,000, we thought,
Yeah, there were a certain number of bills that got paid, and some of those actually ended up being grant reimbursable. But the way that this little spreadsheet works, the reserve flows in as income. Some of it was spent, or all, about 14,000 of it has been spent so far, and the rest is sitting there as income that will go against construction costs or furnishings or whatever we need it to go towards to make. And we're still on schedule to be in there sometime over the summer, like early fall, and we'll have a hurrah in the fall. That's the important part, is the
Mhm.
ribbon cutting, select board can come with their smiles on. It'd be great.
Mhm.
Is the exterior work, as in concrete and that, still going to happen this month?
That is a good question. I don't think so. It seems like the scheduling of that, has been a sticking point for Mail Evergreen, I guess. They can't get on the calendar. They thought they were gonna be able to get on the calendar. Then it seems like it's not gonna happen until they come back from their break. Although they checked in the blankets and everything they have down, there's no frost in the ground, so they could if it would happen, but the scheduling of it is just, it's been difficult, I guess, and so that probably won't happen until they come back from their scheduled break in March. I believe is when I can get on the schedule for the three folks.
And if you haven't been buying the last 2 days, it's starting to turn blue because they're doing the blue wrap. And then they'll get insulation and then,
They're starting to put windows in, I think, too.
And windows
They
in.
put some windows in.
Yeah.
So those are going.
Exciting.
Yeah,
Windows.
yeah,
windows will help.
yeah,
It's a little dark in there right now.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, they're still intending to kind of have insulation and sheetrock, and even, I think they're planning even to get a first coat of paint on. Inside before they take their break, the second week of February, I think is their target, the 13th, I think, sounds in my brain familiar. And then they'll be back about a month, 6 weeks later in the middle of March, I think is what they're saying, to finish up. The outside concrete work and maybe some of the outside work, depending on how far they get, and then the ceiling in the first floor, they'll go in the floor and will go down. I believe is the plan.
You consider the first floor the basement?
Yes.
We didn't talk about this, but I'm gonna, so Wednesday, the whatever our meeting is at the end of the month, the board is gonna meet early to go in and have a little tour, because most of us haven't been in to see what's happening. So I invite select board, we'll put it out. Sorry, I didn't ask you if that was okay.
No, I thought of that actually. Yeah, right. And I wasn't sure how many people, if they were gonna be sensitive about that, because it's gonna happen at like 6 o'clock, or we meet at 6:30, so it'll be the Wednesday, the 28th at 6 o'clock. But because no work will be happening at that moment, then they're less concerned about necessarily how many folks go. So, but if folks want them to come and check it out.
Let us know, RSVP.
What's that, Wednesday the 28th? Yeah, let us know so we can give them a heads up.
Yeah. But it's exciting. I did get to walk through and it was fun.
Yes, it is, they're gonna have sheetrock there, maybe there'll be some sheetrock up by then, they're working quite fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so any questions or comments or concerns on the budget or the project or the report or anything else? Recommendations for good books, I don't know, what do you?
I think they want to do this.
So the big picture is there's still plenty of money to cover anticipated completion.
Yes, we are running just under budget. We have like a smidgen of wiggle room in our overall numbers right now. Things, the contingency was full and then it was almost nothing and then it was back up and then it was down. So, but where we are right now as of their last bill and what we know is coming, we've got the money that we need to cover the things that are in there. I call it the bubble, their bubble. There's the money for the other things which we're working on getting that were never in their bubble, and we're making great strides towards that. But yeah, we've got what we need, and I think they're at the point now in the project where they know all of the unknowns, or many of them. I'm knock on something that they know all of the unknown. The thing, in the beginning there was a lot they kept finding, but now I think we've worked through most of that, so there should be, as Peter likes to say, we should start to see credits as opposed to extras that go the other way. So we're hopeful about that. But they've been great partners and very flexible and good to work with, and so it's been good.
Nothing has come about changing the septic, has it?
No, we explored that, and Dorn came and looked at it and they said, you know, it looks like it's never had any problems, it's never been close to full, it's very, you know, it's very solid, they said it looks great. And other than changing the pipe, which I talked about a couple meetings ago, because of that was, again, I wanna say brass, but that's not the word, it's cast iron. And so that was the only thing they found that was a little questionable, but we did change that out, and so we feel pretty confident that that is gonna work for us. We do still have the other site, which we had explored maybe getting a plan going for that, but we decided not to go with that because it's an added expense, which we don't really have the extra money for, and we don't know when we might need it, and so things change quickly in that realm. And I mean, we do have a plan that was drawn up when they split the properties, but already that's out of date and would need to be redone anyway, so we don't feel like it's worthwhile to spend that money now when it might have to change anyway.
Cause I knew that some perk test was done over there
Right, because that's what we were.
by the library, so I didn't know
Yeah.
if a design came from that.
We
the
had
cost.
intended to do a design, really, we intended to verify that the current design that we had was gonna be good. But then, once we started to go down that road, it came to light that it's too old and we would need to do it again anyway. But then we got the current site tested and we found out that it seemed like it was gonna work pretty well, so. I think we're gonna stick with that for now, and also not continue to park on top of it, so to try to increase the longevity. Is the other part of that plan, so that's where we're at right now. Very high tech, she's not parking.
Alright.
Okay, thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Let you get back to your.
Perfect, thank you.
Regularly scheduled.
Regular
We need,
meeting.
have we done that in the past, all moves that Robin signs the change orders, have we?
Oh, I think
We've done that, haven't we?
Did you all want to sign it?
No, we need to
Just
move it to authorize, me. This is what I just did.
Well, yeah.
Should do that. That would be great. It would be official. Do you want the numbers off it? Before people walk out, or you all have the numbers?
Yeah, we have them.
Okay, perfect.
I'll move that
Okay.
Robin signs the change order for $3,309.13.
I'll do it, I was second,
I'm sorry.
I already did that.
Alright, so. If you'll go.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you. Emergency management. I have nothing there. Does anybody else?
Thank goodness.
Um, Listers. Oh, no. No listers present. Health officer. I know after speaking with Rita, who had said she would do it till next town meeting, it's apparently not that simple. So I think we're looking for somebody willing to do it for a 5-year term.
Yeah, I believe the state is involved and they have to appoint a person, I guess, and anyway, so we can't just appoint a person then. So yes, I think that we just wait until town meeting and hopefully somebody steps forward to run for the position. Or maybe they just appoint them anyway, is that right?
No, they're all appointed, they're not elected.
They're not elected.
So we send a name recommendation to the Department of Health and they do all the paperwork and,
Drag someone out of their house and.
you know,
Yeah.
so Rita wouldn't take it because it's not a short-term appointment.
Not at the time. I'll ask her again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she's unable to continue beyond town meeting for various reasons or whatever reason.
We thought we were all powerful. Yeah, how disappointing. Traffic Safety Task Force, Robert.
Yeah.
Floor is yours,
Um,
even though you didn't bring cookies.
welcome home, Robin.
Slipping, huh?
Yeah, I guess there's a number of things. First thing I want to ask is there going to be anything in the budget for traffic safety signs? Has that been discussed?
This is talking, would that be road signage?
No, that's different. So the road signage is just your. street
I
signage,
don't
street
know if we
signs.
specifically budgeted anything for that, but I do believe a couple of meetings ago, quite some time ago, I think Carl had reported that he had researched some of these signs, or some of the flashing signs and whatever, and they were like $700, and I thought we said just go buy.
We didn't vote to do it.
Maybe we didn't vote to do it, but
And that was
just go
for,
buy them,
for West Street.
buy one for West Street and have another, and but it's a small enough amount. I don't think we need to fiddle with the budget. I think we should just get it done, at least try one of them. And
You know, I really don't think that West Street is the major problem. Tuesday was a very nice day. I stopped for a coffee at the store. So I sat in the chair and had my coffee and put my stopwatch on. 17 minutes and 14 seconds. 9 people went through the stop sign. It wasn't a California spring roll. They went through speeding. And when they went by the store, estimated speed 45 to 60 miles an hour. Used to be in law enforcement for 20 years. I could estimate speed. All right. So, gentlemen, something has to be done. We're going on 3 years. Absolutely nothing has been done. The Traffic Task Force Committee, there was 9 of them no longer in existence. Why? Nothing is done. And nothing's going to be done. Okay. We sent out the survey to the town people. It all came back speed. Nothing has been done. Three years. Okay. In West Rutland, the speed limit is 25 miles per hour. Okay, and that's a major road. That's Route 4. I'm talking in front of Stewart's. Everyone is familiar with West Rutland and Stewart's. It's 25 miles per hour. Up here by Fitzgerald, it's 72 miles per hour. Nothing has been done. Someone's going to get killed. All right. I come to these meetings and now it's like there's no existence. Yeah.
Are the signs that we look at the kind that tell you how fast you're going, or just flashing that you're going?
No, I think it tells you what your speed is.
Yeah, I think they were on Amazon,
Yeah,
right? That we were.
There's 4 pages of different options.
So
Yeah, you can get them to take pictures of the vehicles for law enforcement and all that. I mean, they're $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for the higher end.
The basic ones, were they solar with a battery? I mean, a little panel with that.
Solar.
we can do something, we could do something ourselves on West Street, but 133 would have to seek approval from AOT, and they probably wouldn't kick her. But we would need their approval.
But I mean, what Robert's saying here too, I mean, it's more the problem, just, I mean, the stop sign you don't miss. So, I mean, just everybody,
That's an
and it's
important.
not a roll through what you're saying, they're not even slowing down for the,
I mean, they're just coming right straight through. Same vehicles, same people. It's a shortcut for Wells, Pollock, and they're using it. About a month ago, before I went to Maine, I parked across the street from Terry's house in the morning, 7:15, and I stayed there till 7:45. Wow. Unbelievable. I was curious if they had time to stop. And we have a school there.
mhm.
We have a crosswalk there. And they're going by Terry's house 55, 60 miles per hour, maybe faster. I don't have a radar. All right. One guy, right, when I pulled out, all right, he really got disturbed with me. So he took the shortcut through Burdock, right? And by the time I stopped and got the Burdock, he was halfway up the hill. There's children on that road.
Yeah.
Failure to, chances are he never even stopped at the foot of the hill because he was in a hurry. You know? Mary Mars, my neighbor, lovely person. She's scared to death to get her mail. And I have mentioned this in a lot of select board meetings, right? She takes her car, blocks the road to get her mail because she's afraid.
I mean, what we're talking about is a handful of people who are persistent offenders, scofflaws.
Exactly. And Robin, we can't afford to have a sheriff full time. We can't afford how much we're spending now. We have a pretty tight budget, you know. The traffic force committee agreed that warning people about their speed works. We had a law enforcement officer, I can't think of her name, she was on the board and she said, it works.
Sure.
It works. You know, when you get that blinking light and the speed limit is 35, right? When you get that blinking light and you're doing 62, at least I know common sense, you know. You know, I did a little research. Middletown Springs is one of 3 towns in southern Vermont, from Middlebury down, that has done nothing with to reduce their speed. 3 towns. Okay. A safe speed in this town should be 30 miles per hour, maybe 25, 30 miles per hour from street light to street light. That is our village, right? Going by Fitzgerald, where the last street light is at 72 miles per hour, because they have to get to work, you know. Something has to be done. Robin, when I first got on the committee, you were on the board. That was 3 years ago.
So we. Do you know, Carl, would we reach out to V-Trans or the district garage, or you know who we would reach out to about putting up a?
Right, well, I already talked to Brian Sanders about it,
Mhm.
and we have to get the permits from Montpelier.
Okay.
First, you have to go to the DTA in Rutland. His name is Brian Roberts. He's in Mendon. He will fill out the paperwork.
Sanderson, right? Brian
No,
Sanderson.
Brian Roberts is the DTA. Sanderson works way below him.
For permits to place a temporary, blinking,
Yeah,
speed.
they're very expensive, you know, but
Wasn't,
Carl,
wasn't there a lead on one,
A loaner.
like a loan from the state or from
The
the
sheriff.
sheriff's department.
We're all looking into that.
We talked about the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
But the cheap ones that Amazon had. Was,
I spoke to Dave Fox and we are still on the list for his mobile unit. Okay, and we can get, it was broke down for several months. Very, very costly to fix. So I'm not sure if it's up and running, but we're on the list.
On the list,
Yeah,
whatever that means.
yeah. I mean, at least that's a start.
Mhm.
You know?
So the like the blinking speed signs and reducing the speed limit and stuff is all. I mean, if it's, we know it's a couple people. And we've mentioned before, you mentioned you don't want to do a speed trap or something, but it seems like that's another effective way to do what you're trying to do.
Yeah. And then I heard through the grapevine, we might get a grant for speed bumps.
No, so Patty sent out an email about was it road safety grant? What was that?
that's the
grant?
one, that's the one.
Yeah,
that Fox-
so it's like new guardrails.
Oh, okay.
We could use it for speed bumps, we could
Yeah,
use it for
Yeah,
road signage and stuff. It was,
Yeah.
so one of the things was a speed bump, that would stop people pretty dead in their
Yeah.
tracks too.
Speed bumps are gonna cause an accident.
Yeah.
I feel like West Street's got a lot of little.
It's got plenty of speed bumps, you don't wanna add to it.
I think the state would not be real happy with us putting speed bumps on
Yeah.
state highways.
I guess my last thing is, if we don't have the money for it, at least you individuals are very, very busy with this budget. Maybe we can address this after town meeting and go forward and do something.
I think to Terry's point before, I think we were on board with at least one of these, the $600-700 sign try,
Yeah.
right? But we just didn't.
And that's from Amazon. Is there a guarantee or we bought it, we own it?
I would assume we bought it, we own that anything, guessing.
Yeah.
I don't know, Robert, we don't want to buy junk,
Right.
I mean, waste $700 here and then we get another $458 bill to fix it.
Well, but and the other issue, I think with the ones on Amazon, I mean, they were all pole mounted, so that's not it's not, like the ones on the giant cones or the wheels or something. So that's not the temporary, so then we're looking at a different issue about, are we allowed to do it, right?
And then, somebody was advertising about providing the mobile carts for traffic control. I contacted them, they gave me a price. It would be somewhere between 7,500 and 10,000, depends what we got on the chart, the cart.
Yeah, it's
So,
not cheap, like the temporary stoplights they had on the East Wells Road there for a month or whatever.
So,
while they were working on that.
I went to the town clerk in Wallingford and they bought 3 of them. And for 3 of them, it was a little over 9 balls. So roughly around $3,000 a piece.
For the signs or for the
Yeah,
cart?
blinking school.
Yeah.
I think we had reached out to someone where it was like if we bought, multiples,
Yeah.
that we were having a
Yeah.
discount. Otherwise, I mean, maybe that 3,000 each would have been 4,000 or something if we just got one.
Yeah.
Going way
Buy
back,
more and save.
right?
Robert, maybe we can just, I'm not saying go out and buy 3. I mean, that's a heck of a lot of money. Maybe we can just buy 1 that's good quality with a warranty and try it. And we've had many discussions, a portable, and who would maintain it. I would volunteer to move it, and maintain it, with the town's approval, and also for safety, have Philip and Chuck help me with a sign package.
And I would say one of the other things that keep us, especially if we do have something that's easily moved, I don't remember where it was, but like maybe it was sheriff talking, somebody was talking about where, the batteries and stuff, somebody just yanked them out, like stole.
Yeah, we lost 2 sets of batteries out of their excavator. So.
But no, there was something with
road.
one of these that somebody
Yeah.
stopped us pretty bad.
Seems like we could, I don't know what the status is. I think the last time we talked with Sheriff Fox, they were shorthanded, but he had 3 new employees, I believe, in the pipeline.
Yeah, we have a new one.
Maybe we can request some enhanced patrol for a short period of time. Might put us a little over budget or whatever, but come here and concentrate 2 or 3 times, 6 o'clock in the morning and say 5 o'clock at night. And we don't need to be a speed trap. When we set this whole thing up with the sheriff, we said we did not want to be West Bridgewater,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Woodstock.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we don't want to stop people and give them tickets. And if you ticket a few individuals, especially if they're the same one, every day or whatever, if they got bumped in the pocketbook a couple of times, I dare say they get the message.
Well, and I think the difference is with, Woodstock, you're going 5 miles an hour over and you're getting a ticket because
Yeah, they were.
But I mean, we're talking about, it's not rolling through this stop sign, what you're saying. If you're driving through our stop signs, if you're going, more than double the speed limit past our school, that's not a Woodstock situation.
No,
That's
not a-
people, that's not us trying to, pad our budgets. That's a safety issue. So
And,
different,
and
it's different.
And also, you can tell the amount of traffic that we're getting. There was a study.
Yeah.
I have the paperwork. Everyone has the paperwork. All right, look at the paint on the crosswalk. The sun doesn't get rid of that paint.
Yeah.
It's turning. The wheels are turning. All right, just like water going over a rock, it wears.
Yeah. Well, so I think what we should do is follow up with either Brian Roberts, find out what the path is
Mhm.
to get
Yeah.
approval.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to buy anything
Yeah.
good quality until we know we can use it.
And Mr. Chairman, we are still in violation. Legally, Officer Rowland told me this. Someone that is turning the corner here, and by the time they get to the first traffic speed sign, they are allowed to do 50 miles per hour because it's not marked. Vermont statute, 50 miles per hour. So they can legally, the judge is going to throw it out because it's our responsibility, but the state's responsibility to put a sign there.
Because they've turned the corner.
Which-
133 is 35, right?
Yeah, but once they turn that corner, you're on 140. You're on a different road. It's 133 and 140. It has to be posted.
140 is also 35.
Yeah. It has to be posted. Officer Rowland told me
Gotta be redundant apparently.
the judge will throw it out.
That's-
It's our responsibility or the state's responsibility to put a sign there. All right. In front of my house, it's 40. And then past Fitzgerald, it's 40 again. That doesn't make sense. It has to go in increments. That's law. A town or the state or the government can't go from 25, can't go from 50 to 25. It has to go in increments. You have to reduce your speed.
Right, I mean,
Didn't there used to be signs at the corner of Burdock? Wasn't there a signpost there with signs on it?
A stop sign?
I don't
No,
know.
like a speed sign.
Speeds.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't recall waiting.
Cause there was a set of signposts there, I don't know what's. Paid any attention to what's left there, cause you drive by it every day, you know. like-
Yeah.
To be in compliance, off the record, I have a 35-mile-an-hour speed sign sitting in my living room. Philip and I will put it up.
I think our action can be, we can follow up with our regional DTA
Yeah.
about proper signage, which is a state responsibility, and if they'll let us do it, we can do it, but if they can come over and say, here's where you gotta put a sign, whatever. We can follow up with the state about that and see what paperwork we need to apply for a digital speed sign. And if, like I say, if it's less than $1,000, let's just
Do it.
let's just do it. We've got a surplus fund, whatever, we don't need to do a special budget for $1,000. If we have to, we can all chip in and buy the frickin' thing, but let's get something done.
Now, the one on West Street, when I looked at that. Where I was talking, when I talked to Brian and that, about putting it before his house on West Street, but that's still 40 there. So we'd have to change our speed ordinance to, cause it doesn't drop to 35 to this side of the farm.
Right.
So we'd have to change it from basically Coy Hill up through, if we're going to put a sign there to put it to 35. So you gotta have the speed sign and then the light. So if we put a sign somewhere this side of Coy Hill and then put the sign there before you get to his house. Where the sheep are, right in that area. It's close enough to the house, so it's noticeable. And be less chance to get vandalized, but it shouldn't affect flashing in the house. Putting it there, so that's where we talked about.
We don't have a lot of vandalism in this town, do we? Except the fellow that's throwing garbage on the front lawn or something.
Well,
Those
it goes,
guys
it
just
goes
here
there
all the time.
from time to time there.
Well,
Hasn't
we
been-
also had our sign here spray painted for how long?
Yeah.
Couple of them.
In the corner. And I don't get nasty notes in my mailbox anymore, so.
You still have a mailbox?
Yeah.
I picked it up and then who's driving?
Yeah,
Thanks.
Thanks.
I got the package looking on there, but no, there was the mailbox.
My hand got tired, I couldn't put any more notes.
Oh, yeah. I have a pretty good idea, but I love this town. I don't want to cause any trouble. My house was broken into and the same guy who sold the guns, he fell through the ceiling. Yeah, $40,000 antique guns.
He was the guy who fell through the ceiling?
Yeah,
Which,
yeah, he lived down the road here, Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be.
Yeah.
But he doesn't eat the right? So, okay.
Yeah, but if you, if we.
Okay, well,
Cheaper
yeah,
than.
I hope we can do something. Yeah, if not,
Maybe.
I realize everybody is busy. I mean, the town budgets are
It was
very, very difficult, Maybe after town election, we can, let's slam it home, let's all work on it together.
Yeah.
Thank you for your persistence.
Yeah.
Thank you.
really, but seeing the use. Well, okay, who knows?
Moving on to the townwide audit contract. Read it in the document package. We didn't see a price in there.
Wasn't that, this is the one that was first
Was it
sent out, right?
Sullivan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the only one I could find that Juanita had sent to us. From her, was there another?
Is this?
There was one with all the numbers on it.
Yeah, there was
Right?
none. We had two of them, but is there anything new with that?
Well,
Did she
the,
respond or?
I think, so I reached out to her, this is like. When I was on the Cape and had to zoom in, I was planning on proposing that we accept their. Cause I'd accept their proposal back then, then I had to leave and I'd talked to Juanita and Crystal at the time, and they both recommended that we go with more Sullivan and Powers and not our other bid.
Right.
So I think to lock it in, because we have to, we're required to have an audit this coming year, we should
25th of August.
lock this one in.
Yeah, that paper is still in.
I don't vote for them.
Hopefully not the oil tanker.
They were both, I think they were both roughly equivalent prices, but we had
Yeah,
higher recommendations for the Sullivan Powers than the other.
Yeah.
bid.
And
What
that's the
happened.
firm that did the last one, right?
Yeah, it's the same, exactly. So they already know everything. They were the ones that suggested a lot of the new ways that we're doing stuff.
The question was the wording of the extra 7,000.
Yeah.
For the project of the library, was that gonna go into effect? Because of this audit?
Hmm.
I think was the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The research that was needed.
I believe that it was an additional
No,
7.
but it's capped at the 7.
Yeah,
I don't know where the other one is, unless it's both in here, but yeah, the initial price was only like $1,000 difference, but that extra,
extra
I
7.
think that's what you were just saying, was
Yeah.
$7,000.
But there, but in the other contract, it made no mention of additional costs for
Right.
doing that still.
Which it would have run into.
And I mean, if this one that's worked with us before is, looking to bump it up to 7, and the other one doesn't mention it, it doesn't give me a lot
Yeah,
of
still
hope
the
that
same folks
it wouldn't
that
be a
did 4 or 5
bunch of
years
extra
ago.
money.
Not to mention that we've had not only good reviews of this company, but
bad reviews.
actual bad reviews.
Yeah, I think
Well, it is
honestly, I wouldn't be comfortable with the other period. And
Here's Sullivan, man.
that leaves us with one that came in, right?
Yep. Yeah, when that concludes.
Yeah, and then 2 pages, I don't remember, so they are both here, right?
I mean, we've gone through that,
Okay.
there's one,
this is,
CPA at the
yeah.
second
this is the
company,
fee
there's,
Yeah.
4, I think, at
Is
the first of
eight
the before,
Yeah.
But I don't know, this one looks like it's all bad shelter, so I don't know. This is all bad shelter. Yeah, I guess we'd have to, and somebody reached out to them. And the date, he wasn't concerned with the date or whatever, so. Yeah, I think we just need to reach out to them,
So-
say, I don't know where the.
What we have here is the fee schedule, it's $32,000.
Yep.
There's no signature lines.
Okay.
Anything.
There must have been more to it than that, but.
Yeah, because we were all looking at
Yeah.
a copy of it, right?
Juanita sent it out.
Yeah, so what I
Yeah,
had, and then. What did I just do? So what I had added to the packet. Was maybe the longer. It's their. Well, I guess it is just the resumes and experience.
or they might have just,
Yeah,
emailed the bulk of it and then just sent the fee schedule because we asked for it, I don't know.
yeah, I guess so. It sounds like we need to reach back out to them and get an actual.
I think we could probably shoot them an email and ask, we wanna confirm, sign and confirm. Contract with you folks and get it locked in, what's our next step, because we don't seem to have our signature page, or whatever.
Yeah, so I'm. Right, I don't see a signature page.
And because this total for Batchelder was 1830, it was. About 31,000, and the other one was 32,000, so they were virtually identical, with the exception of the extra.
So, I guess what we should do is vote on accepting the proposal
I think we could do that.
and authorize
And
Chair
then,
to sign the documents when available. I guess I just moved that.
Move that, I'll second that.
sounds good to me.
Good resolution, Terry.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, was that a motion?
That was a motion.
Robin, to accept the audit proposal from Sullivan Towers and Company and sign appropriate contract when we get the paperwork or something like that,
Mhm.
and sign the contract when we receive it, and seconded by Isaac. Is that correct?
That is correct. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Yeah, we actually got something done today.
Um,
When we get the paper.
Who should follow up on this? Was this a Juanita project? or-
Maybe Juanita,
Yeah, we've been in touch with them.
she's been in touch with them at least once. We
Okay,
could
I will
send her an email
Or-
and you
Yeah.
can. I probably won't have the minutes done by then, but you could reference that we approved it and ask her what the next step is, or if she could contact, yeah. Super, thank you.
Okay, delinquent tax collector. Trustee of funds. Planning commission, that was, town highways. Floor is yours, Mr. Deans.
Well, our ice storm was a challenge. It is, West Street is finally cleaned up, pretty well. That morning of the ice storm, the bed chain broke in the 1-ton sander. Chuck called me a little after 8 and I went to Rutland and got a bed chain, and Philip shoveled the sand out, and him and I put the new bed chain in, and it was back running by noon. So
Thank you, Carl.
Chuck kept sanding the back roads, but I think part of the problem was that the salt didn't get onto the road underneath the ice. And then I've had a few phone calls, and they just don't, we put salt down quite often, but it just didn't, the ice just didn't plow off. But once it warmed up, I got a call the other night, and the individual called Chuck and Chuck called me, and I think when he came down, we were waiting for another load of salt. So he didn't have the 1-ton backed into the salt shed up there. He was gonna put it in later. I think when he came down to put it in, I guess he went down and plowed West Street, but because they started early in the morning, they left early afternoon, and by 4 o'clock, it was melting. So when I went to Bolton the next morning, most all the ice was plowed off the road, so I didn't know if he went down with the big truck or the little truck to do it, but it finally got cleaned up pretty much. I'd mentioned where it got narrow down there at Luke's, where it had drifted in, that he may need to take the big truck down there to get that cut back.
Yeah, I saw that go by today.
And so, West Street's pretty well pushed out. This afternoon, I got a call from the end of Garen Road. wanting to know why the road was sanded to Rich Miller's and not the rest of the way. So I went up and checked that. A field truck. I got told rolled over yesterday in a driveway up there.
Marcel, yeah.
Yeah, so the truck in somebody's driveway. Ursula and Linda's driveway. I really can't tell from driving by, but I would assume that they sanded the hell out of the road for their. I knew Earl's two records were coming into town yesterday, but I didn't know where they went to today, so I assume they sanded the hell out of the bottom for the records and all that. And it stops right at Rich Miller, it basically looked like it's gravelled right to that point. So there is sand all the way up to the end of the road. It just, you can definitely see the difference right there. So that's what they were complaining about, why they didn't go all the way.
Yeah.
But
Excuse me, Carl, Mr. Chairman, there's nothing that you can do when a bed chain breaks. And of course, when you have to create a brine with salt, you just can't put salt down. All right, and what Carl and the two guys did was the proper way. I mean, you have to wait for the part, and then they hit it again and then scraped it. That's the proper way to do it.
unfortunately, it had accumulated, but all the roads had. We weren't the only one.
And it's called roll down. Or if an individual's late coming out, and a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
So he was putting the salt down because, we used, as we discussed here, more than 30 ton of salt.
For that storm.
Before Christmas this year. Which is about a third of our salt budget for material. And that was before the ice storm. So we're on our third, he got the third load and we had most part of the load in the salt shed to start the year with that was left over. So, and the complaint the other night was that North Street was bare, but ice was still on West Street. Well, the sun hits North Street. And, and it was, we were at 14 a lot of days, Pulteney was at 16 or 17. And the ice was melting in Pulteney Road, it was just, we were on the cooler side of it. The question of not being able to visually see the rock that we're using the material. Because there's ice on all the back roads from Thanksgiving and now these couple of days it's starting to meal up and break down, so. We got the bill for the green truck, the springs, the brake issue. That got fixed, $4,300 is that repair for the green truck. He got it home, put it inside to thaw out the bed chain so it's usable because it's been sitting out up the Earls and they can't get it to adjust. So they've been working on trying to free up the adjusters on that bed chain. He says it's still working. He doesn't want to. There is no parts available by the supplier at this point in time, and it's still usable, but they've been working in there when they're not out on the road trying to get that freed up because the tension around there is just a grease fit. And the grease pushes the tension around. And they told him, don't just take the plug out and beat it back, because if they're not even, it will bind up and snap the chain.
That's
So-
a Viking. And
So,
when the town is ready to purchase new equipment, Tenco.
so,
Tenco's right up in Barry, the parts are available. You might spend a little bit more for Tenco, but.
well, right now,
Yeah.
parts, luckily, I was surprised as all hell when I went to Earl's, they gave me the slip for that bed chain. It was $321 for a new bed chain for the 1 ton sander.
That's cheap.
I was extremely surprised that it was so reasonable. I was figuring 800 to 1,000 for it. But they had it in stock and so, our sand supply seems to be holding up for us. Barring anything too drastic, we should get through with what we have. He's happy with it coming out of the pile. We're getting very little freezing of the pile. In other years, we've had the big overhang. And we're getting very, because we put plastic on it, so it kept the water out, so it's not freezing and getting the big chunks.
And there's salt in the gravel.
There's 65 ton of salt that got mixed in with this year's,
Yeah.
but that's down every year. It's been dropped down some, so. The hope is to, for the towns that are not using any salt, they're having good, if they're keeping the material dry, it's working. So.
Yep.
That's Chuck's goal, is to get some sort of a permanent cover, even if it's where it's at. I said years ago, when we first started renting Dot's property, we looked into putting up a tent building on that rented property just to put the salt and sand in. And we ran into some opposition from adjoining property owners, so it went. So he thinks we might be able to do something right where we're at for a tent building to cover it. I haven't looked into pricing to see what size wise, it's about 100, the pile is about 100 foot long this year, but it's not as high as it has been in the past years. You know, so he's running.
Isn't that kind of an awkward location too? Because you have to come in from the gables usually. for
Yeah.
Those buildings.
Yeah,
It's an awkward spot.
yeah, that's how he's running the pile now, coming from one end.
Right.
But
Right.
normally, in the past, we'd worked it from the opposite end, but they put the cement barricades up and fill up against it, so they put it higher, but.
Yeah.
As far as I know, the green truck, the red truck is staying together. The chain supply, we have plenty of tire chains, but they appear to be for a 24-inch tire instead of the 22-inch tire. So we've talked about cutting them down so they weren't so loose. So, because these ice storms, he's put the triples on the back of and he's had to buy quite a lot of straps, bungees to keep the slack out. But when he's using them, not the time to cut them down, but. So he hopes that he can get the bed chain of the green truck to find the master link. He says something about, when he talked to him, about taking 2 links out and adding, just putting one back in. So you take a master and a roller out and be able to put a half link back in to shorten it up so it's still used to prolong the chain's life. So. Other than that. All the other issues haven't reappeared yet, so. The last report I got was that the Phillips license testing is the 15th, is what I heard.
This month.
Yes.
Thursday. Yeah. Mr. Chairman, I had Philip out on Tuesday. His driving is absolutely excellent. He's good. His pre-trip is good. I don't think we're gonna have a problem. But there's a lot of stories going around town, but I don't pay too much attention to that. They're kind of bull-takey stories that Philip told lies. No, Philip won't tell a lie. All right.
Actually, I'd rather we not do this in public meetings, personnel issue.
All right.
Mention names.
I contacted Wesley and the matter's straightened out. It was not Philip's fault. It was Department of Motor Vehicle. Something was not done. All right.
Okay.
But Philip's doing good. I don't think we're gonna have any problems when I take him up on Thursday. I'd like to get the truck, I asked permission from Carl if we can get the truck up to Rutland, the truck wash and squirt it. Wesley is, he's thorough. He gets underneath the truck with a student, and if it isn't clean, if you can't see the slack adjusters, if you can't see the spring keepers, it's a fail. He has to see it. It's visual. That's what the pre-trip is all about. All right. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe $20 we'll cover it. But we'll squirt it and get it clean. So, so there isn't a hindrance for Philip.
Good. Thank you. Town lands, we got our town office updates, is that just a, maybe that just,
Yeah.
thing, we got an update on library. Other town lands and facilities.
Guess there would be, or down at the town garage, but that's the hot topic of the town garage, I guess.
Yes. And I sent out my slightly panicked email earlier, I'm sorry.
So I've actually I called Herb, I don't know, a week or two ago and got Frank's phone number, and Herb said basically don't email him because he'll just give you curt emails that don't say anything. So I've been calling him and had to call him like 3 times or so before he called me back. But I just talked to Frank, who's the engineer that we hired to see if we could pull West Street out of flood zone, FEMA flood zone.
Right.
So he said that it hasn't been submitted to FEMA yet. He's waiting on his surveyor to come survey it and then get that paperwork to send it to FEMA. So because I've been calling him or whatever reason, he's saying he's leaning on the surveyor now to get us at the front of his line. So presumably within the next week or two is what he said. He's expecting his surveyor to come back with the paperwork that then they'll send the FEMA.
Has he surveyed it, or is it paperwork, or?
It sounds like the surveyor has not yet been there and done it yet, is what I was understanding from what he was saying.
So Patty responded to my email, saying, the surveyor hired by Frank Parent was in on Tuesday and is beginning his part of the necessary work. I told him the town is under the gun, and he assured me that he would move his part forward quickly.
Right, so that's the bit on that. So the hindrance there would be then is the turnaround on FEMA's part. But this whole time we've been thinking that it's them being like dragging their feet or no one working there anymore, but it hasn't been. It's been the fact that Frank hasn't been surveyed. hasn't had it surveyed yet. So that's where we're at there.
Because we got one bill and we paid, so that was before Herb got done,
Yeah,
so we thought that
yeah.
it had gone forward.
I was almost sure too that I heard someone say that it had been submitted to FEMA. That's what I thought I heard.
Thought that's what the bill indicated when we paid it, but.
So. Yeah. I think it's time to actually think about how realistic it is to plan and build a building in a year out there without knowing that we can even get it out of the flood zone in time.
I mean, we have a NOMA on the house. And it was surveyed then. To do that, so we already paid to do all this work once. Just that the NOMA we got isn't suitable for our needs, so.
Because it's basically the footprint of the house.
Is my understanding, that's all we got,
Right.
you know, so.
So with this current one, it would be expanding that out into the whole field,
Well, but
getting it redesignated out of the flood zone so we can build it.
we don't even know that, because
That's what we're hoping for.
we were waiting for Otter Creek Engineering to deal with it, and then they washed their hands of it. And Herb got a hold of Frank to start it.
What was the
And-
timeline? Like, when did he first call Frank? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Gotta be a year ago.
Going on quite a while.
More than a year.
And it's pretty much the same information as what you just relayed. We were led to believe the surveyor.
Yeah.
Been there or was in progress, not that he hadn't even been there yet. And this is like, at least last fall, that was the information we had.
Yeah, last time we talked about it, I think, was in August. And it was that it was in FEMA's hands at that point, is what I remember.
I think it was $1,200 and some odd dollars
Hundred, it was August, that's what it says.
that we paid for that.
But
For what work, we don't know.
Right.
If it wasn't the application.
Are you happy staying as the contact with?
I'll keep pestering him. Yeah. He's pretty hard to get a hold of.
But Bill had also offered to do it too.
Yeah, I don't think he's, this was definitely like. Frank had only just started thinking about us.
Yeah,
again
yeah,
since
yeah.
I started calling him, I think.
And that was before. I mean,
Yeah.
that must have been back in
we'll have a
October.
lot more pull too with a select board member calling
Yeah.
than the designee.
Okay, anything else on town plans and facilities?
I think we need.
What?
David's email was asking a bit more logistically, like our plans. Of getting out of his building there by December, as if.
What I read into it, you know, how much sooner can we be out?
Right, basically, make sure you're out by at
What's
the latest.
What's going on the ballot this year and,
Right.
and all that.
Yeah.
You know, I think we need to have that serious conversation about selling West Street and their proposal. With the library down there, if they're gonna be out of that property by the end of the summer,
You mean selling the
little-
current
The
library?
little.
Yeah.
library.
When you
Yeah.
said selling West Street, I was thinking.
no,
Yeah, I was.
but,
Yeah.
no, but I don't think we need to pursue selling the library property just in case the town needs to use it to store our equipment at,
Parking trucks in the library?
you know,
Really.
So what is does the property, it's that property and then there's another building between the church
Yes.
library, right?
yeah,
So is the backyard, is that all town property?
no,
It's just
They're-
straight
they're
back
all
from
straight.
the,
they're all.
but it
straight.
is all just a big field back there, I guess, right? Yeah.
I mean. Parking everything outside down on West Street. Without power there, you know, we'd have to put pole in, we'd have to.
Yeah.
All that, and. It is too far out to leave. If we're having issues on occasion with the trucks.
Mhm.
Being messed with up here at the firehouse, leaving them out on West Street, it definitely would be a problem. Possible,
Mhm.
so, I mean, I know that. By the sound of things, they want to look at generating more money for them. But we didn't hear the number what the realtor told them it was worth.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
unless we're going to try to find something farther away from the Bolton River.
Yeah. You kind of alluded towards maybe having a rental in mind last time we were talking budget. Is that something we talk in we'd have to do an executive session, or is that?
Yeah, I have not talked to the property owner.
Okay.
To see.
Mm.
If that's an option.
Mm.
I'd ask Chuck. If he thought, if we push came to shove, you know, would that be a consideration? I mean, it's not. Centrally located.
Mhm.
It may be a cover.
Mhm.
With electricity.
I do believe so. Probably not heat though, but they're used to that.
At least when lightning hits.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
Solid waste.
I
Anything?
don't think I got anything special there. Don't think so.
Okay. Correspondence then.
Have we had any more communication on that outstanding balance?
No,
Oh, the check, or,
No, Hubbard's,
I gotta give that to,
we were running the
I
year in
think-
review that he got, we were running $3,000 to $7,000 a month balance.
gotta give that to, Nita, see if the auditors wanna look into it.
we don't pay, do they just come over and dump all the garbage back over there?
We don't know when it started. We don't know. Or what it was for.
Correspondence, we had that, we talked about this briefly at the start of the meeting, we have this request from Rutland County Humane Society. And if anybody wants to look at it, but they're asking for $250. Last year was $125. This came in today and our deadline was December 31st, so we can do what we want with it. We can ignore it, we can put it the same amount as last year, we can put it to the voters and let the voters vote on it, but like I said, according to their own, how they calculate their fees, sliding scale and all that based on the input they get from the towns. They've got Middletown Springs with 11 animals, which actually seem like quite a lot, but anyway. They got Middletown with 11 animals and their sliding scale with minimal intake 0 to 14 is $150 and they're asking for $250. So I think
Well, that.
anybody wanna look at this or I would move for, because I'm basically lazy, that we put it on just leave it on the ballot for 125 like it was last year.
Well, right, because I mean, if your sliding scale would have been up to 150 for 14 animals, we've got 11. But they're saying 250. That's,
Correct.
the math isn't mathing on this.
Math doesn't add up.
25.
Math doesn't add up.
It does sound like that's what I'm hearing.
Math doesn't add up, came in a week late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll contact them and say, this is what we're doing and take it or leave it. That would.
And,
Sounds good.
by consensus.
By good
Yes.
classes, yeah. We've got our certificate of highway mileage. Should be no change from last year. Because we haven't added or subtracted any roads. We all need to sign that. We have our 2025 equalization study from the Vermont Department of Taxes. I think there's no surprises there. We all know what that is or where we're at with that and that. If anybody wants to see it, you can look at it. We have a request from Pulteney Rescue Squad, 39,700. Same as last year, and that's calculated at $50 per capita based on 794 people. We have I don't know if this is from this time or last
Yeah,
time.
just for Carl, for when you want to do your.
If you want to do your road
Commissioner hours, I don't know if you knew that we have those.
We have our appropriation requests from Vermont Farmers Food Center. Yeah, they would like a donation of $500.
We already had that one.
I think we already had it, but. But the date on this is January 2nd. Propaganda, if you want training from VLCT, some more propaganda. Oh, Chat GPT for municipal clerks. Use clerk minutes for meeting transcriptions and doing your minutes. Get that. Economic development, we already talked about that. Comcast Community Outreach, I don't think we've used them, but they do the Internet Essentials from Xfinity and blah, blah, blah. And I think they do something for free, I don't know. If this is not free apparently. If anybody's interested. Oh, and we have a new request, as I mentioned earlier, from Vermont Adult Learning that we need to place on the ballot if we want to. Request from the fire department for same as last year, $86,000. And I believe that's all the new stuff we have. I think we can do that by consensus also. That's our, we've agreed to that was our policy. If we get a new request, we leave it to the voters.
Right. So, yeah, so policy has been voted up over the first time, so yes, by consensus.
By consensus.
We're putting that on the warning.
As its own line item.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, and it'll have to have the proper language deemed necessary and whatever it was. Well, that's what we got.
Financials.
There was actually for correspondence, there was an email from Patty from. Oh, wait, was that handled in the last one? Because that was just on. What's that? Let's see.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Robert.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
I don't think it was.
You down for a few days?
With Rhonda Phillips.
Yeah, probably a month.
Is that not?
No.
Maybe that's not accurate. That was an email from Patty. Maybe it didn't make it into the correspondence.
Good night. There's nothing in here relative to that.
She had emailed. Patty had copied all of us on it. And it was with Rhonda asking what is the status in the select board correspondence folder of 913 incident reports. Is this discussion still pending from 925? Select board meeting when all correspondence was tabled due to a lack of quorum. And Patty had just copied us on all that, so.
Right.
You know, recall off the top of my head if that was really the case, but, I can tell you that I had Amanda fill out an incident report relative to that. Had Philip fill out an incident report
Yeah,
relative to that, and I had actually,
and that was actually, yeah, actually from, so 10.
I had emailed.
Oh,
a,
you had responded
I
to
had
her.
emailed to her.
Yep, on
a
in October.
response, and then she couldn't open the email or something, so I physically mailed a hard copy. And that was the last conversation, because I never got anything back, and she never asked anything else.
Oh, the last thing from that back and forth with her was from October 23rd, just no attachment, town clerk does not have the master to make a copy, please mail me a physical form. This is,
And we do have the master copies, maybe they didn't. They're in the folder, they're either here, they're in the back of. If you ever need one, I drafted this up pretty quickly, but it's blank forms and
oh,
blank
So-
forms in the back of this document, and we used it again 3 weeks ago or whatever, when Isaac fell on the ice, not just Isaac, a different Isaac.
yeah, he just
And
gets
he
stuff
filled
dropped
out-
on him instead of dropping on things.
He filled out a form, and Amanda filled out a form, and.
Well, right, and I mean, the reference to the 9, the September thing, isn't even, I mean, you responded after that, so. And,
And I think we didn't have anything to respond to, or decision to be made, we fill out a form and
yeah, no, I
document it.
I mean, I just saw that one from Patty and it was just,
Yeah.
I just.
Just that one, right?
Just that, and then, but then there was the, yeah, so there's, but I just looked and, Terry did respond after that meeting. In October.
I don't know why I get to be the lucky, get the email, but.
And I'm assuming, Terry, it was you that went and posted.
Yes.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. That was
It's all right, you're
long
welcome.
part, long part.
Not a problem, I don't know where those two originals went, but. It should be a separate folder probably.
You live in.
So you still have to drive the checks, is that right?
Yeah.
Is the check,
We
Maybe
should
one more.
have, some downtime and after I get the W-2s out and, I know what my operating system is now and I can make sure that it's how I use it over my mind, so.
okay, cool.
But for now, yes, I'm still.
Nothing. Yep.
Yeah, with the next one.
Yeah, for sure.
They're generally our time sheets and.
Oh,
Time card.
getting better.
Yeah, the extra zeros, that's just to make you worry for a second.
Nice, we can make
Getting
progress
there, yeah,
on
I'm
at
sure
least
very
one thing,
impressed, I
right?
know, I know. Mhm.
Hopefully.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, they showed up.
For
They
the
showed up.
extra zero, but
Nobody was here, so they took it out. Then I was there, them, delivered, up behind the town garage up there. I went up and asked them who they're looking for, and they said, I got you're on the fluid.
Yeah, these tables kind of have. to
Yeah.
Over the doors down below, not, red door up back. I suppose.
Yeah, but I'll leave them in the, I've got to come up with that, all this correct, so.
Yeah.
If it's handy. Yes.
something else out there.
So what, that's about the grand list.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, refresh my memory, like, each thing means, but it's, yeah, it's because of grand list. If we asked Sally to translate this, she would. I have to like, think about it every time.
Mhm. Oh, I guess. We also never talked about in the budget, and I did reach out to Sally about that training that they were talking about. Budgeting for it, and she said it was, I don't know if you were here for this round. We put that extra ask of theirs in their salary, I think. Which is correct, because it is free training, the state provides, they just want, they need to be paid for the hours that they do it. So that was where that should have gone, I think we put it in the right spot in the budget. And then she didn't have anything to say about. What was the second thing, like town, if they were gonna do another. Um. Town adjustment or something, it was still in. There's. Tax maps updates.
All right.
I have in there right now 3,000, but she did not reply to my email saying that they were or weren't doing that. I'm assuming that they aren't, yes, because.
Sometimes she doesn't get her emails.
Well, she replied, I sent her one email and said,
With
are,
the-
can you clarify, are we paying for the class or are we paying for your time for the class? And are you planning on doing a tax map update? And she only replied. That the class is free, they just need to be paid for it, and then that was it, and then I emailed her again. But are you doing the tax map update? I haven't heard anything,
Okay.
so. Right now, we have it budgeted at 3,000, I don't know if that's
Yeah.
accurate or not.
I think when we talked about that, and Patty seemed to think they probably weren't doing one this year, but.
Right, but they do, there's like supposed to every other year or something like
Yeah.
that, and they didn't do
They
one
didn't
last
do
year.
one last year, so it seems like they
There should be.
should be doing one this year.
Rise to 2024.
Yeah, that's what we have, and it was 3,600 back then. 36, yeah, 3,600.
Terry, did you look at Hubbard's bill?
Not particularly. What was it?
Well, they got 4 items listed, but they only charge us for 2. The trash,
Trash and trucking is all they charge for, they don't charge for the recycles, that comes from Casella.
So what is it, 0, when it says 0, isn't it 0 source, or?
Yes, yeah,
So-
zero sort. They get $200 and also paint, but they get $200 for trucking.
Okay, gotcha.
And then once a month we get a bill from Casella with the actual weights. Well, that has the weights too, but with the actual charges, because zero sort goes up and down.
but we get charged for trucking for the trash too, right?
Right. $200 per container.
And then they pulled the 0 sort too.
Yeah.
but they only charged us $200 shot
Right. Hubbard, yes.
for.
Oh, they didn't charge the other $200?
Well,
Yeah, they probably make up for it next month. I don't know.
so either they shorted themselves $200 or They
That's
made-
unlikely.
well, that may be why we got a $3,000 balance with it. Somebody found it.
Sometimes they send a separate $200 bill and it's only for 200.
There you go.
So maybe that's coming.
Well, sometimes they, you remember. Were you back on the board a couple of years ago when we had trouble with the zero sort? Machine had some electronic trouble with it, and we had the repair guy here
Yeah,
a couple different times.
Chris was chairman, I think, at the time.
And a year went by and all of a sudden we got a bill for like $1,500. And they were very apologetic, well, somewhat apologetic, saying, just found this on my desk. It sat there for a year, and they don't do that themselves, they farm it out to a different contractor. So in other words, I'm not gonna worry over $200 if it shorts itself to bed. I doubt it. No, the equalization thing.
Yeah. And then adding new ways
Hey,
to calculate. it,
Yeah,
if I had spent-
change the way they calculate it, it's
Yeah.
all gobbledygook anyway, but you
Right,
know,
right.
they just. They pay some
These,
consulting good money to come up with it.
Exactly.
These numbers here,
Mhm.
should I replace those, you're saying? These are.
No, oh. So we already, when we talked about it, we already did those, so those can go away, the reds.
Right, but I didn't actually change those yet, I changed it.
No, but I think you had 4,800, so we put 4,000 in, yeah, you did change.
Oh,
those,
so
yeah.
that's the actual.
The
and then you
actual
just
is like
crossed out.
700.
Oh, okay, gotcha, great, so. I can
So, but
delete-
there are some, I thought we'd go through it the next budget in the,
Yeah.
town part, some of the numbers. Pro-
The fact that they're red doesn't mean that they're negative, right? It's just.
Yeah, oh yeah, so you can change, yeah, they're just red because,
You were putting in.
yeah, and I made the color red, I didn't put a negative in it. You
Perfect.
can change it back.
Okay, so,
For the holiday.
I guess.
Makes us like, but it goes for that.
Well, you can send it to me.
Somebody have that.
I wish I didn't have to, I wish I didn't have to
That's
change
okay.
it. Wow.
Unless it went in the wrong folder.
Yeah, and I should know how to use numbers, so you
Oh.
have numbers on here, David, my husband uses numbers, but.
Look, I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
Thank you.
If you click enough buttons, eventually
Okay,
something
yeah,
happens.
yeah.
Right?
Not if it's something good, but yeah,
So-
that's valid.
Alright, so those are all blocked, is there real numbers now? I don't know, I don't know. What was the question? Oh, lister expenses, another question.
Oh, is that because we were wondering if we had. to
If we should put the
Seminar
request,
costs, but,
yeah.
yeah.
but I think we've already put it in
Yeah,
there,
yeah, right.
in there.
Yeah, we talked about it, because I think some of it is going to hit in this fiscal year,
Mhm.
and then.
Right.
Some of it. the next.
Yeah, the thumb up. Do you remember what that request was though, from Sally, like what the number was?
For some reason, 2,400 is sticking in my head, but I don't know.
We only
Yeah,
added 1,000 for that.
for 26, 27,
Yeah, oh, I guess that's why, right, because
Yeah.
half one,
because part of it's gonna come in for that.
but if we didn't budget for it, wouldn't we add it for next year?
No, because that's, yeah,
That
playing around
works,
with the budget, yeah.
so-
Yeah, so we'll just be over this year and hopefully it'll be compensated by somewhere where we didn't really spend.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I'll look for the letter, but I'm like 2% better.
Okay. Quick, do some quick search.
What's that?
The request from the listers on funding for their levy on certificate. Certification. What's it called? The speaking is different. Not bad. Well, I think that by 70 was
And you sleeping through the night?
not at all. What's that? Sleep? What's that?
Do we know who MMM is?
Believe it's Meredith Morgan. They I don't know.
Do we have to click on her?
I already let her in. She's muted and no.
It is me, sorry.
Welcome.
Thanks.
I understand, man. That's good. It means that the microphone's working. This time.
You might know about the office.
But Sullivan Powers,
The signature page.
maybe. Should we ask about that? Is that a good time? Yeah,
Sure.
while you're there, Meredith, do you know about the signature page for the Sullivan Powers contract that we got?
Did we sign it, you mean?
Or did we receive the full contract and are we missing it because we can't find it?
Looks like we should have.
The information we got
Yeah,
doesn't
trucking.
have anywhere for us to sign
Should be
to approve it.
$200.
I don't know, but I can check because we have another meeting next
For
week.
trash, trucking for a year and sort.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks like there should be a,
So Meredith, what?
looks like there
What
should
we
be another trucking.
Did
on
was voted to approve the contract.
there. Looks like there
and
should be
to,
two more trucking on there.
Authorize the chair to sign it once we have the,
So if you don't want to
Signature
pay,
page,
you just take it out or just pay it. and keep it.
I'd say just pay it.
Yeah.
Or if we've
Robin,
already
I
got
think-
it in there.
Oh.
Can find it.
But then we can't see.
Sure they will.
Yeah, at some point.
I quit. This technology's killing me.
Robin, were you still asking me a question or are we all set?
I was saying that the board voted to approve the contract. And authorize the chair to sign the contract when we have a signature page.
Okay,
Because what we have is a description of the work and a price sheet, but not a contract.
All we can find, all we have, unless it went somewhere else, all we have is a 2-page cost proposal. A cover sheet. And then a cost proposal just listing the fees, and that's all we have from Sullivan Powers and Company.
okay, well, we have a meeting on Monday. So I will find out what's going on with that contract.
Great, thank you.
Super, thank you.
I'll read this. I'll send them a letter.
And then there's a lot of the Worcester stuff there.
Yeah,
Pretty much see everything, so, yeah, but we're just, I'm looking for it.
I don't know that we got it. I think she sent it to Robin.
Oh, okay, well, then I probably wouldn't find it.
The lister request.
Yeah, I guess that.
Only 2%.
And what I did see doing a search for listers was about the tax exemption for the fire department. That is saying we will need to put it on. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're requesting $2,646.72.
Who is that?
The listers.
Oh,
For the-
2,600, okay.
So we've only put 1,000 in next year's budget.
Yeah, I think that from talking to Sally, the majority of it was gonna be used for this year.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
so what is 1,000?
It's, yeah, 2650 roughly.
That's 38%, so it's probably about 38% in a year.
Sure.
62% this year.
So that's,
I think
we're happy with that.
Up to you guys, if you feel more comfortable changing it, have a just a suggestion. I'm not gonna be a hard ass on everything.
Oh, come on, gotta have a reputation. and-
Exactly.
Just to keep us off balance, right?
Keep us all on.
Sometimes I forget that I'm not still working in New York City, so. Let's have a remind. A little bit more.
Is it in New York City,
Just
just
the one you had.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I worked,
20 years.
I worked in New York City for a while too.
Yeah, what did you do?
I was an editor for a medical publication for like going into the city for like 5 years. So I lived in Brooklyn, but then moved back to New Jersey and
Where in
mass
New
transit.
Jersey?
We moved to Bergenfield when we moved out of the city, but I used to live in Northwest New Jersey, which was as rural or.
Yeah, it's pretty up there, yeah, yeah.
Two more payments, I see.
2 more payments, yeah.
I worked right by the Wall Street Bowl.
Oh,
So,
yeah, cool, very cool.
It was a famous thing until I walked by and saw all these Asian tourists. And now they-
Six
probably
days.
will be right. They did. It's very shiny.
Okay,
right
about two
there.
vacations.
Yeah, we got a pretty good rate though, 3.17%.
It's a whole
Got
community,
that
it's a
at
whole
the right
different
time.
subculture.
You know, but it looks a lot better than
It really
7%.
does. Having whatever kind of food. like-
Right, that would be right, at any time of the day, right, or night.
Mhm. Yeah, there was a really, when we lived in Brooklyn, there was a really amazing pie place that we don't know where the physical location was. It's just a guy would show up with like his helmet on his scooter and drop off our food. We're like, okay, like we don't know where it was located.
Yeah.
Could have been on the street space, I don't know. But
The first thing we do when we get to the
Okay.
thing,
Okay.
order sushi in.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, entertain a motion for.
So move.
Mhm.
Terry jumped on it. It wasn't even.
He moved us.
Oh,
Need a second.
Second. Yeah.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Thank you. Any other business?
Do we want to talk about the report?
Report.
There you go, town report, we got a couple things, we talked briefly here a week or two ago or whatever. About a potential cover photo, if everybody was good with that, we just. I don't know if we have probably don't have a sample of it, but there's a very non-confrontational picture, just two chairs underneath a tree. And it goes very good in black and white. There were some other, and it's right on the website, actually.
There you go. Yeah.
It's actually,
That's at the library.
it's actually at the library,
Oh,
but
nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that the
yeah,
one?
that's the one. There were some other nice photos, but by the time they're black and white, it didn't look that good.
You've already converted this to black and white and like.
No,
what
it would
looked like?
just be printed black and white on the.
Well, but.
But like, can you see?
No, the other,
That's
You know what it looks like in black and
oh,
white?
yeah,
Let me see. If
I
can-
think so. Some of the other ones, there were some very nice photos, but the clouds in the background is very gray, blue,
Mhm.
and dark. And so we didn't think that would translate well to a photo.
I mean, some people are they, no, they're not really Adirondack chick, because some people don't like those, you can't get out of them, they can cause some big problems.
Adirondacks from New York, anything.
Well, yeah, so that's,
Green mountain chairs.
Those are fake Adirondack, because I think they're plastic.
They're plastic.
Adirondacks are
Tracks, probably.
cedar and half log. So there's that, I think I sent everybody copies, Isaac did a good. Select board report, and I touched up a few things after talking with Patty.
More than touched it up, Jay.
Eh,
I appreciate it.
I sent another report on something that escapes me at the moment.
People
Bill are lost.
who died.
Oh,
Bill.
folks,
Four,
which
four or five people.
So
four
I
or
said,
5 people I added, I didn't put Kathy Doyle on it first because the Conservation Commission was doing something, but anyway, they put just a brief thing in there and referred them to look at the Conservation Commission report.
Mhm.
And, oh, just a brief write-up for Bill.
I saw that one. This was transitions.
Yes.
Would this be part of the select board report, or is this its own?
No, that's its
standalone?
own, that's its own thing. I think we mentioned Bill in the select board report, but that's his own.
Yeah.
I mean, how often do we have somebody work for the town for?
Yeah.
For near 30
Can you
years.
send me the?
Well, yeah, and you're,
For some reason, I can't open the Google Docs.
Oh.
for some reason, I don't even, they just pop up underneath for me, so.
I don't know how to help you with that one, with that either, so.
Would we have any consideration of
it's hard to say.
doing the cover of the town report
Just do
with Bill?
straight up black and white, because that'd be too easy.
Well, yes, but I think we were trying to get away from putting a person on the cover. You know, we've had a couple influential people or whatever, or somebody passes away and.
Yeah, we use that, and then it got
Then it can get,
crowded.
it could get crowded, and especially a year like this year when we had, what, 11 or 12 folks in town die, and we don't want to. So I think that was our,
Just send it to you.
that was our thought process, is
Or
how
also
to get
send it to
away.
you, or you can.
Yeah.
And we could put,
And would you send me?
we could put,
Yeah.
you know, Bill like on the
So-
inside cover. A little picture, I'd like, we have a picture from Emmett, and I think he's standing by, I don't know, one of the trucks, probably the. I don't know if it was a red Freightliner or whatever, but anyway, well, I'm sure he's got more than one picture. But anyway, a picture of Bill and a brief write-up. And I thought in the memorial section, we'd have a picture of Bobby by his pushing lawnmower or something. We've got nice pictures from there of Bobby. And then lead into the memorials with
Is that
that.
anyone say?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody has any other ideas,
You know,
but we need to do something fairly soon, that's all.
I'd be in favor of doing the cover for Bill if we wanted to, but if you wanna stay a little more neutral on the cover and do the inside of the cover with a thank you for years of service.
Yeah. I just.
We don't have access to the old town reports too. But I'm sure, you know, I know Pete was on there after he passed, I think, and, you know, for his years of service to the town, Parker. You know, Bill's had many years. And this would be the year, you know, now that he's retired to recognize him for the service. one way or the other.
Is a picture, or sorry, were you saying something about like a picture on the inside?
Inside front cover.
Right,
See that?
like
I
that,
mean, this isn't my decision. We've talked,
Yeah.
all I've talked with is
yeah,
the board a little bit, and I've talked with Patty.
Yeah.
So. Whatever, and we could probably, I suspect we need to meet again next Thursday to. Do some tuning on the budget, so we could probably decide then.
should we make that Tuesday,
I
just in case
or,
we
yeah.
also need a Thursday?
I think I meant Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
You're right, we should do it Tuesday.
Mhm.
And that's fine, and anybody's welcome to. Reach out, touch base with whoever, touch base with Patty and Elizabeth, get their input. Elizabeth is laying out the report, that's why I suggest her.
Mhm.
Um.
Yeah.
And if there's anything else that comes up, I don't think there's anything else with the town report that I was thinking of. We need to get, I don't have that, Patty's probably got it, the. The whole actual verbiage of the warning. Where we put in all the different
Yeah,
requests and change the amounts, and that's where we'll have to put in. That new one for. Whoever it was.
and so will there actually be? That'll be the warning for voting,
Have a calendar.
Mm-hmm.
and then it will,
Yeah.
the towers will also put a warning for
New
the
Year.
information.
Yes. Well, it should, and
I think it
we
should, yeah.
get it out in time. But yes,
And,
yeah, with the date changing and all that.
and is that at the school?
Yes,
So we settled on the Monday before, 1 week before the normal.
yeah, that was in the Middletown News.
Yep.
Library thing,
Yeah,
but yeah, we need this document, all the verbiage with the.
Yeah.
All the different things we vote on. Must be, we condensed that last year, I guess, huh?
Yeah,
Because we used to have 30 of them.
we included the service organizations last year.
Right.
Except for the ones, cause it was voted the previous year. So that's.
yeah,
that's right.
what most of the town meeting was about.
Well, all voting.
And then we also had that. I don't know what somewhere we have the recommendation when we talked with. Oh, goodness, senior moment, the fellow from Andrew, from across the street.
And
Yeah.
moderate.
We had some great recommendations that we wanna.
Mhm.
Either explain a significant increase in one of the nonprofits requested annual allocation, which I think is really. If we really have any of those. Bless you. But we might wanna have if we need to answer,
Did we get anything from the squad? Other than the funding request, was there,
Oh,
a report.
right.
was there any sort of report that they were that?
But they also didn't ask for any more than last year.
No, but they're on the ballot, could be, they're more than the threshold,
Because it's over $5,000.
so they get voted anyways, but.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of discussion on either representation at voting or.
Yeah.
Explanation.
Yeah, there is a
Down where our $39,000 is going to.
There is a page and a half report, 269 calls in Pulteney, 31 calls in Middletown. 18 mutual aid calls, 21 interfacility transfers. Total calls in 2025, 287.
But no like financial expense,
No, just,
income sheet, I think that's what people were looking for,
yeah, no, this just says,
like that.
just verbiage of what they have a full-time crew, da. Newtown, Fulton, Middletown Springs, portion of Tinmouth. 1 full-time, 1 part-time, 9 per diem emergency care provided. List their names, no financial data at all. I will say we were stunned at the, at the volume, at the magnitude of their budget increases the last couple of years, but every time I've had occasion to use them up on the hill, they responded. Been able to respond. That's not always the case. I mean, look at a bigger town of Fairhaven a couple of years ago, actually suspended for what, 3-4 months or something?
If we could, well, that was quite a few years ago, but. Yeah.
Didn't have people.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Can we, is it too late to request that they send a representative to the town meeting?
It's not a bad idea. They always used to come. Somebody used to. Of course, we used to have, well, maybe our members of our first response were also members of Fulton Rescue, but we could ask them. In case questions came up. So like the fire department, they used to, well, I think they still come, but.
At least they put a financial recap in the
Right.
report.
Yeah, I think requesting someone from the rescue squad did. Because we can't answer those questions.
Right.
We can only speculate, but long and short of it, that's they look at the state average. Of what people they're charging, trying to keep up with Fairhaven on what they're charging, and last I know, the regional's still charging $5 per person. For their 17 towns or whatever.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
insurance companies won't pay increasingly for transport, I think. Or,
and
I
that's,
don't know.
My last conversation I had with Finger before he retired up there at regional, he tries to get these communities to increase the insurance billing instead of going to the taxpayers to try to generate more funds, because you only get a certain percentage of what you bill.
Yeah.
Is all the Medicare, Medicaid reimburses. So you have to charge twice as much to get the quarter. It's all a percentage. It's just the game they play.
I've got a phone number. I don't even have a website. I was gonna say it'd be pretty easy to send an email, but. This,
There's a phone number 5575.
yeah. 287-55.
Not find anybody answer that.
Anybody wanna try that? If there's a website, I'd shoot them an email.
Yeah, I just checked, there's no website.
There is no website?
No,
Wow.
there's a Facebook page. It's mostly about the thrift store.
That's where's the budget?
That's too much.
Uh,
And Deb Hoisington used to live here in town, but she's still her treasurer, secretary, treasurer, whatever, but. Yeah. I don't know. Interesting. Thanks. So, I don't know, I'll have to ask Patty if there's anything else with the. That they were missing, yeah.
The highway department did get a phone call from the sheriff's department about the road condition. So Chuck called them to see what it was in reference to, and he found out that there was a car accident over in Irish that night.
There was a flipped car in Pulteney on New Year's Eve, I think,
The pickup truck
or like an SUV, I think. It's like a,
on Landers Flats there.
yeah, out past like right past Clark,
Hampshire Hall.
Hampshire Hall.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
Alfred Haley.
Mm.
Was it?
Yeah.
She all right?
Yeah, he was over. Alfie had him over shopping the other day.
Wow.
I have two different- I have two
Okay.
different-
Ended up upside down in the ditch.
Here's my truck, like. Speed in the front, and like here, down.
Any other business for this evening?
We adjourned.
Next
Hang on,
meeting.
hang on.
Darn it, see?
One
Jump
thing
out
that
that time.
I would like to propose,
Wow.
consider a
No.
little document I passed around. Not this. We have a lot of sway here in Middletown and as Peter Franzone mentioned when he talked with us earlier this year, you know, it's not to be taken lightly because it could piss off the wrong people and jeopardize any federal funds, or they might be listening right now. So. But when we have ICE agents have been running wild for months, but and this isn't the first person they've killed, but reaching right in some arm's length away and shooting a woman is
Well, the
beyond me.
the agent's part is troubling me too, because like I've got students who are like, hey Rock, I can work for, I just got an email, and I mean it's not, you know, when you think agents you think extensive training and stuff, but I mean with how much it's been increased, how many people have been increased on it, I don't think that there's nearly enough training, and they're not trained for crowd control, as they said, and all that. So it's a bad situation.
Well, and it's incredibly disturbing when they circle the wagons and everybody says the same thing, and yet we've got all these private videos that are widely available that show at least a 180-degree different story. Come on. So I just wanted to try to do something. Not much, but
Did you write this?
I did.
I like your phrasing, especially the very last part.
I do too, but not for an article.
Yes.
I yeah, we have done you know, statements, non-binding resolutions in the past. And I think there's a place for them, and I'm happy to work on screwing up your phrasing.
No, it can be modified and you won't hurt my feelings, that I won't be offended if we don't adopt it. And we've done a couple of resolutions in the past, if you recall. We were one of the first several years ago to adopt I don't even remember what it was called, but Hal Wakefield and somebody else are putting out, it was, you know, a message of inclusivity.
Right.
Several years ago.
Right, yeah.
We were one of the initial, this town was one of the initial adopters of that. And then, of course, Peter Franzone's resolution last year. And then where they go, I mean, I'm not saying we need to make a sign, flashing sign and have this everywhere, and I mean, we can, but I'm not really looking for that. I'm just looking to make a statement. And I'm not gonna call CNN or anybody like that and say, "Come up, why we did that." You know, I don't know. So that's it.
Good. Thank you.
I'll move that we adopt this resolution, and then it'll be what it is. I mean, if it's put up on the website for a while, whatever, I don't know. But we just make a statement anyway.
Would some tweaking from.
Yeah, I would like to reword it.
That's where yes,
Now, you
because
like
although
fucking Zoom?
although I
do.
although I agree with a lot of it, yeah. Pretty much I agree with all of it, but I think that since we're representing a wide range of people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But we could bring
Soften up.
bring revisions to Tuesday.
There you go. Yeah, we do that.
And on Tuesday, I think looking at like at best, I'm hoping to be there, but it might be a remote. I gotta see. I know Jody's got a policy meeting for school, and then at least Ellie's got climbing. I don't know what else is going.
Would it be at 7 o'clock? Yeah. That's
Yeah, 2 hours.
Yeah.
Is that good for everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a date on Tuesday.
It's 13th.
What?
The
13th is Tuesday. Yeah.
6 is always hard
6 is
for
up,
me.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah, then we can adjourn. Move to adjourn.
Move
We
to
don't
adjourn.
need executive session for anything. We think we're.
All
think
three
we're
things
good
coming
with-
together finally.
We're good. But we did say a meeting or two ago that we were gonna talk with the highway people. Just bring them in and talk with them briefly. If we do that sometime, doesn't have to be Tuesday, but if we do that or think about it, we ought to do it on. 6 o'clock before our regular meeting so that we don't have to have them sitting around or whatever. Or maybe, I don't know. But we did say we were going to,
What was that in regards to? What was
some kind of. Find
Finding out where we were at.
where we're at? Okay.
And so we didn't specifically say an individual, we said,
Yeah, just highway.
so we were looking to see where we're at, maybe that'll all take care of itself.
And after Thursday, we'll have a better idea of
Where we're at.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we
Move
move to adjourn.
and nice.
All over the place.
I don't think we need the second and move to adjourn. I'll second this.
Do you not need a second?
I'll do it anyway.